Keep 100% of your claim. G4 Claims.
If you've been hurt in a road accident that wasn't your fault, you should really talk to G4 Claims first. Unlike road accident solicitors, we don't charge you for our services, which could see you better off. To keep 100% of your compensation, have a chat with Nicole and the team. You'll be glad you did. Search online for G4 Claims.
Keep 100% of your claim. G4 Claims.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Talk Scottish Football, episode number 86. I'm Ryan Fitzsimons, joined alongside me by the two Davids for the first time in a long time. I feel like I've been on with you, Div.
It is, aye. The last one we were previewing the Israel show.
Christ,
when we did the nighttime show.
That was a long time ago.
Aye. It was.
And then David, of course.
They're Peter Grant away, baby!
Christ,
Jesus, sorry headphone users.
There's my ears away, you know. I mean, you're buzzing for the first time.
I'm not bad, that's I'm delighted because there's a bit of hope around my football club now. A wee bit of hope that we can actually fucking salvage this season.
You now need to kick on now and get some fucking wins.
Get a decent manager in first and foremost, that's the first thing. We'll come to that later on.
We'll come to that in the show. We've got a big discussion surrounding Dunfermline, and I'm sure the Dunfermline supporters listening on are eager to hear what
they don't give a
Mr.
fuck what I've got to say, to be honest. They hear me ranting and raving every Saturday, that's more than enough for them.
Right, well, as always, the podcast is brought to you by the wonderful fellas over at G4 Claims.
Fellas,
yes.
No, it's not just fellas.
Well, it's not just fellas.
It's actually mainly
the
not
guys.
fellas.
Well, like,
that's unisex, isn't it, guys?
Yeah, but
is it?
Yous are the one that are...
I would think men if someone said guys.
No, come on, guys.
What's wrong with fellas? Could be anybody.
Aye.
You know, fellas, you know.
But you would not. I mean,
you're the
you
one.
could say
You're
guys,
the one
so
that's
I don't know about fellas, but you could say guys.
You're
guys.
You're
just pipe down, alright? Because you've not got a leg to stand on today.
Oh, how have I not got a leg
come
to stand on?
G4 Claims.
Hopefully we'll not come to it.
Yes, we will. But G4 Claims, thank you very much. Podcast studio as always, and make sure to shout us guys out if you need any support with G4. So a packed weekend to talk about, a kind of weird one. That the kind of shift has changed from the last show we done before this set of fixtures, because the tone of the games was, okay, Rangers are dropping points, they're looking a little less, and Celtic were on the up, but now suddenly after one weekend the conversation changes.
What clickbait title can we get this weekend?
And this funny old game we call the Cinch Premiership. It's just, I think a lot of people, and I want to start off the show by saying this, I think a lot of people have forgot what a title challenge is like and what a battle is like. I think a lot of people have been sucked into the...
There's ups and downs.
I think a lot of people have been sucked into the norm that was the sort of 9 years of Celtic winning the league. A lot of Celtic fans aren't really sure what this challenge is like. I'm saying bring it on. It's 4 points. It's just turned November. You know, it's nowhere near finished yet.
See, the other day I checked in previous years the finishing standings of the Premier League. The year after Celtic went invincible, they finished in something like 82 points the following year and won the league. Yeah, I think they drew something like 10 games. Don't quote me on this, but it was something you'd go like that. Jesus, they could draw like 10 and lost 4 or 5 or something like that. So
it's weird seeing it happens, back to this way. Aye, it's only November, but we've got so much to talk about. So let's start with that, and let's start with the Saturday games. Let's get them well and truly out the way, because I want to be talking about Celtic versus Livingston for as least amount of time as possible today.
Look like a barnstormer.
Yes, I just look 0-0.
Fantastic.
90th minute penalty miss. Celtic were poor. They were not good enough.
They weren't good enough. Well, we'll just start with the penalty, shall we? Because that's the main talking point in the game. That's the main talking point, isn't it?
Fast forward.
To be honest, I don't have a clue what happened in the game apart from the penalty.
Patch Livy's tactics.
We've heard nothing. We'll come to that. Don't you worry. But the penalty is the talking point.
Yes.
Now, Anne just come out and said it was his decision. We discussed about this in the Tesco break room last night. We're both in agreement that he shouldn't have done it. But I have a little bit more understanding as to maybe why he might have done it. I think, and he would have imagined that scenario, I think, when he made that decision. If he did make that decision, there's a good chance he might just be fronting up and taking the heat off maybe Giacomakis, who maybe have just, I don't know, told Juranovic I'm having it. Who knows? But yeah, he shouldn't have done it. Because ultimately, if you've got somebody who takes your penalties, they take your penalties. And to change it in that sort of scenario is a bit mad.
No, just took the penalties, but he's took the last two exquisitely.
Yes,
the first one
convincingly
was it Betis away? Was it right in the corner, and then Hibs literally the game before just passes it into the other side. So you would have been expecting Juranovic to step up. I'm sure you were. What were you thinking when Giakoumakis did stand up to take that pen?
I've already said I knew he was going to miss.
You just knew.
I just knew it.
I feel like you get that feeling though, didn't you?
I didn't want to say it, so I've said this story already on my own channel, but I've said it obviously Kieran.
Got my phone away.
Is that your phone? I was
Jesus
fucking hell.
Christ.
Just about shit my pants. Fuck's sake.
What that was
Fucking
thinking
hell.
about.
That was it. That was it.
That was that team.
Fuck off.
Gotta get that.
But anyway, I said this story already on my own channel. I sat with Kieran Old and I sat with my pal David, and my pal David was giving it the whole he's missing this. It was pissing me off, so I told him to fucking shut up. It's like, shut up. And I knew in my head anyway he was going to miss it. And then bang steps up, and it's the worst penalty I think I've seen in a long, long time at Celtic Park. Banned them from Celtic Park.
It's the fact that he put it in we tried to put it in the corner.
Yep.
And the goalie was still able to kind of fall on it. He could have threw his hat on it. It was just so.
It was just so weak.
It was so weak, wasn't it?
Poorly taken, and I just don't understand. You look, me and David, as we said, discussed this in the Tesco break room last night. There is an aspect of this where, like, okay, let Giakoumakis take it. He scores, like, his confidence is, it brings it up big time.
Yeah.
But you're looking at a guy who's barely kicked a ball for Celtic, low in confidence.
You think he's low in confidence?
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm getting that argument. Based on what? He's come in and scored
he scored one.
he's hardly
but I
played.
don't-
He
I
scored
don't-
straight away.
I think he doesn't look like he's ripping a confidence.
After he missed the penalty, I mean, seeing the pictures, he looked like he didn't have any confidence. But
I don't think
I wouldn't
that-
say he would
he's
have
not-
went into that game
I
low
don't-
in
he's not-
confidence.
I like so far what I've managed to, apart from that, I've managed to see of him. I mean, but there's not been too much there, but he's not a guy who's roaring with it.
How do you know that?
Just you can tell we are playing. Kyogo is someone who's ripping with confidence.
Yeah, but Giakoumakis hardly played, and when he has played, he's come in and scored.
He scored one goal.
I bet he's-
he scored a
And he's
tap.
how many minutes
He
is
scored
first
a tap in
How
goal.
many minutes
Was that
has he
not his
played?
first start?
Maybe about less than 200 minutes, I think.
Yeah, and they've all been off benches. So I just don't. I think
He started-
I think
I
you're
don't think
saying
it's
he's
that
low.
relevant anyway, but
I think you're saying he's low in confidence because he missed a penalty.
aye.
Well, it looked like a low confidence man hitting that penalty.
It looked like he certainly will be now if he wasn't beforehand.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think just the way he went up, the way the penalty was taken, it just doesn't suggest to me he was a man who.
What
was
about the guy at Lennoxtown that has been
his
saying
fingers? His fingers are fucking
getting them taped up.
broke up. What was it again?
I know a guy at Lennoxtown.
He shows him getting hit with such velocity. with such
The
velocity.
goalies have all been getting off with their fingers.
Joe
chopped
Hart's
up.
Joe Hart away.
You can just tell Anne just like picture a scenario in which they're 3-0 up against Livy and they get a pen,
Aye.
and then he can take that and get
Yeah.
a goal.
That would have been perfect.
Probably wise, but that's a bit naive, in it. It's proved that way anyway.
I feel like there's an unwritten rule in football that the guy that's scoring the penalties takes the penalties.
Yeah.
I feel like that should be the case. And Juranovic has been scoring.
Especially if he's hitting
convincingly.
them well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
so
mean?
it was poor, but look, you can't take away from Livingston. They turned up to Celtic, but they've taken 4 points from Celtic
Yeah.
out of 6 this season.
Back-to-back clean sheets
which
as
is
well.
which is tremendous. And let me justify.
Absolutely tremendous.
Let me justify and let me clarify a point that I made on my channel that is taken to Twitter this morning.
What is it? Football
Dublin
terrorism?
Terrorists. They are. They're terrorists. And I'll say that. I say it about any defensive football team. People don't grasp what it means because people are over the age of 40 and automatically think I'm calling them actual terrorists, like they're going to turn up at Celtic Park with a wee bomb. But they are. But it's not a bad thing for them.
I'm not
It
sure
gets some
that
points.
I agree with the language.
No,
to be
terrorists,
fair.
mate.
But,
Doubled in.
I think you could have come up with a better word there. But yeah,
It's like
as I
Steve
say,
Clark.
that's their second clean sheet against Celtic this season, isn't it?
Yep.
Second time that they've drawn a blank versus Livingston, so they're obviously doing something right.
Didn't look
to
right.
me, it looked like for the limited highlights that I seen, they were so narrow and they were so
They only had
they were
14%
so far
of
into
possession.
that low block.
It's
It was scary.
It's the big man. Is it Obalegi? Is that how
Aye,
you say it?
Obalegi.
He's
Yeah, they get sent off.
Yeah, he got sent off, but he's
The
he's
best.
Fucking
Heads, everything.
Jesus.
clears
Let's
everything.
talk about that then.
Jesus.
A moment of madness from him, isn't it?
Aye,
But it was quite comical the way that Kyle go
It was
through his
hilarious.
Celtic
They've got to
run.
sell it, man. They've got to
He's-
sell
the
it.
best
He
thing
does
was,
that all the time. Have you seen that after the ball and that? See when anybody touches him, he goes down.
it's the way he falls forward and then goes back, takes the bump, nice and
It's like
clean.
he'd been sniped or something like that.
But listen, I say this all the time when people get annoyed about things like this. It's like we're a bit late in the day to start moaning about this sort of thing. It's been going on for 20 years.
Do you know what the annoying thing is? But players feel the need, I think, sometimes to do that because if they don't, they
They
might
won't
not
get
get
it.
the decision.
Yes, of course
like
you do.
a lot of times you see players that are too honest in the penalty area, and you're going, "That's a penalty." Like he's made contact with him, but he's stayed up. So that's why a lot of players go down and stuff. But that was.
I seen a lot
that
of
was mad.
I seen
That was
a
madness.
lot of Rangers fans obviously looking and going, "How's that a penalty?" And I'm like, well, I agree. It's obviously soft. It's obviously a situation where you're like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" But At the end of the day, he's raised his hand to a player in the
Exactly.
box.
He's whacked him in the box,
You
hasn't he?
you can't win at that point. Like that's it. It's an insult.
No,
It's an
of course,
assault
I
in
think
the
it's
area.
absolutely a penalty kick.
Yeah.
I think the reaction of the player and said player's teammates tells you a lot. You know, they
Like-
knew exactly. The goalkeeper, especially, as soon as he lifted his hand,
He
he's
didn't
like,
even try to defend him. He knew he was done.
You fucked it, big man.
But apart
One
from
of my
that,
favourite-
solid performance for him though. Brilliant.
No,
Celtic,
absolutely.
he's
They-
solid all the time against it. Well, twice
They
against us
headed
so far.
everything apparently.
Yeah,
and
but that's the thing. Celtic needs. We need to figure out how to beat these teams when they play like this because the crossing isn't working. We'd be sent umpteen fucking crosses into that box, and not once did I look at it and go, "Oh, we're going to get something." We never did. I think there was maybe one chance it dragged just wide, and I was like, "Okay," but you know, we looked lost, and then when we tried to play through the middle, we just couldn't break them down. So you know, we need to try and figure that out.
Just to go back to the big man, did you see David Martindale's post-match?
Yeah.
Where he
Aye,
said,
that was
will
funny,
you be
yeah.
having a word with him? And he says, aye, a
6'3".
few of the coaching staff.
But I mean, you would be absolutely raging. I
If
mean,
they go and score that, aye.
I think
but
even that they haven't
even
done.
at that, he's got to be raging,
Yeah.
but it kind of, he gets
It's
away
the
with it, doesn't
red
he?
miss sort of was ended, didn't it?
Big
Yeah.
talking point as well, Ryan. Need to get your opinions on it.
Go on.
Kyogo did not start the game.
Yes.
Evidently the wrong decision.
Starts every game from the one. I'll hold my hands up there and say I was naive enough to suggest yes, rest him for this game, save him for Thursday. He's far too good to bench. He's far too good to bench. We need him every week. The difference with him not being in the team is huge.
Yeah, the drop off is
No,
just
it's
scary.
huge. And I was, me, McGinley and Kieran all sat here on the table and what did we do the podcast Wednesday night? We all sat around this table, Thursday night I think it was, we all sat around this table and we said, yeah, we'll give Kyogo a rest this weekend.
Would that have been a case of you getting a wee bit ahead of yourselves then?
no, it's complacency, but I think it's from
Yeah.
Ange as well.
I don't think it's getting ahead of ourselves.
Well, you're saying I'll drop my best player, but we'll still do the job, can I?
Yeah, I suppose in that sense. Yeah,
Well,
you can
low
look, but I
confidence
was
striker.
more looking at I was looking at the way let's get Giakoumakis on, let's get him up front and try and build his confidence. And then I don't like Kyogo. The way I was looking is I don't really like Kyogo in the wing.
Yeah,
I
he's
prefer him in
ineffective on the wing as
So
well,
I was
isn't he?
like, so you know what, we'll play Giakoumakis up front. That was the way I was.
Regardless, that team should have had more than.
Oh, it should have. Yeah,
should have had more
It
than
should.
enough to beat Livingston.
It's a very disappointing result. There's no excuses. You should be beating Livingston at Celtic Park.
Yeah.
Thomas Rogic, he was a
Big miss.
He was a miss as well.
Big miss.
Yeah, fair play to Livy.
We've got a big chance to get
Obviously,
back
to go
3
top
points
of the
next
league
week.
as well. Let's
Yep.
not forget that.
And it's the psychological
So-
aspect cannot be forgotten of how important it is to be top of the table heading into
Yeah, it's
international
massive
breaks.
for Rangers. It's absolutely huge. Should we caveat into that as it's a nice segue?
Nice segue. Yeah, let's go into the Sunday game. Let's move on to Rangers 6-1
It's
win at
massive.
Park.
That's a massive result, and it's a massive afternoon for Rangers getting goals, getting a striker that's now red hot form. The whole atmosphere in the place seemed to be lifted. You know, these sort of celebrations are full time, just chalk and cheese from Wednesday night, and going into the international break. It's massive.
Yeah, it didn't start well. Well, Rangers started the game very well, very positively, but they go and concede a goal that's just it's calamity. And it was another set piece as well. Goldson's got to do better, letting the man run off him.
What has happened to him, by the way? He has been pretty dreadful recently.
I would say his form has dropped off significantly, but I also think Rangers have changed the way they set up for set pieces, and they need to, and it's a case of fixing something that didn't need to be fixed. We've took men off the posts. Do you know what I mean? So they've changed something that didn't need to be fixed, and it's now came back to bite them a wee bit. But the reaction was positive. They just continued to do what they had been doing, and eventually. Through a magnificent strike, the more I watch it, the more I'm just like, what a goal that is from James Tavernier. I was on here, he's phoned me on the last show and he's were asking me about his performance and that, and I was like, I was shouting for him to be subbed in the last game, for somebody else to come in, like Nathan Patterson, to be given a chance. But also what I was saying as well was he did pop up in that Aberdeen game with big moments, and in this game his overall performance was there, and also he popped up in big moments. He gets a goal, it's a wonderful strike, and then he gets the assist just before half time.
Yeah, I thought it's a great finish, absolutely great finish. Even against Aberdeen, I thought he was very poor, to be honest, over the night. But some of his deliveries were
He's
phenomenal.
still got a goal and an assist,
Yeah,
in that,
exactly.
and also played the cross. Do you know what I mean? So he still does pop. He's still massive for Rangers offensively, but
Bit of Sakala though. I've got to say that song is fantastic.
Aye.
It is very, very catchy. I've got to give you that.
Is that just started that song?
No.
I was because I was like to say my pal Scott.
First time I'd heard it though.
Did Scott not tell you about it last time he was up?
No.
Maybe because I had a wee chuckle to it a wee while ago.
Aye, it's a good song, and what a human being, honestly. I love that guy. He's just, and Michael Beale tweeted after it,
It's just- it's really good.
the
What-
nicest man I've ever met in football. Michael Beale says that about fashion. So he's just that. He's a lovable wee character, and you can certainly see that he's raw and stuff like that. But he's got something different for the other players that were playing in that front line with Rangers.
tell you what,
Pace being that,
I wouldn't-
and also he's fearless, so he'll go and take players on and such. And he was rewarded against.
I wouldn't
Motherwell.
want to play Zambia on international football just now.
Mate, they're
Patson
fucking
Daka,
Daka.
Patson Daka
Daka,
up front.
aye.
Whoa.
But who's the other boy as well? There's another boy. He's going to
Is
play
there?
with Brighton.
Oh,
I don't know.
Did you see the story?
Didn't score against-
See the story of Patson Daka when he went to Leicester.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
What is it?
Have you not seen it?
No.
Rodgers at his
He's
best.
sitting there in his ordinary clothes.
They said when Daka came to Leicester, they offered him television. He had to do his isolation, obviously, for 10 days. Like, we offered him PlayStations, televisions, and all the rest of it.
All he wanted
And
books.
all he wanted was books about Leicester. But what was I going to say? Stephen Donnell's a tit, isn't he?
Yeah,
I don't think it was a yellow card or something.
it was. Come on.
Where's he going though? He's not exactly driving in the box or anything.
Well,
is he?
he's driving past him to put a cross into the box.
He's just
That's
a
a
bit-
yellow, innit, Ryan?
He's just a
Come
bit of a turn up, isn't he?
Dunno.
He's just a bit of a turn up.
I mean,
you just
he's
absolutely
I'd be-
idolise Stephen O'Donnell.
I'd be-
You'll not call him it.
I'd be shocked if he was in the next Scotland squad. To be
That's
honest.
what I wanted to bring up, boys. Next Scotland squad, Stephen O'Donnell not in it.
Nathan Patterson and Anthony Ralston for me.
Well,
Probably.
you're getting big rouse now, eh?
I would like to see Calvin Ramsey, but I don't think he's going to go for it. I think he'll keep
He's
the
also
21s.
he's injured, and I think he's pulled out the
now.
under 21s.
So I think that Ralston's the kind of next.
That's what
I, mean,
I was going to.
I want to see Patterson start.
Yeah,
but
I was going to say it to you, lads. Though, see, and like, if Calvin Ramsey was fit,
Yeah.
I would have liked to maybe have seen the freedom in the squad.
Ooh.
Freedom, eh?
Aye, because Patterson, although it's kind of letting him down a wee bit that he's not playing as much.
I think out of the three of them, Ramsey's the best season so far. His output and his numbers are
Yeah, you've got
phenomenal.
to say so. Aye, they're absolutely
He-
frightening. I've
he's
seen statistics in that as well.
been
And going forward, he's been incredible.
And Aberdeen have dropped, like when he's out of that team, you really notice it,
Aye.
the difference.
So that's why I just don't think you can overlook him, and you can't overlook Ralston either, because he's a guy that's just he's had some season.
Yeah, he should,
So
he should. I think Ralston should be in the squad.
I'd like to
but-
see the freedom in the squad. Like they had Greg Taylor in there for ages. You had free left back. I know that's different because you've got Taylor playing centre half and such. But
The other thing about Ralston is
I really
you've got-
would like to see
playing,
that.
playing right back for Celtic under Ange is very different to playing right wing back.
That's
for
what I was
Steve
about to say.
Clark at
So
Scotland.
my point was going to be, I've seen the argument a couple of times now that Ralston won't fit Steve Clark's system. He won't be that sort. But I think
he
that,
deserves to call it.
I think there could be a bit of a. He's capable of adapting.
Based on what?
Nothing.
I think he's very unlikely
Well, he
to
adapted. He adapted for Ange.
Yeah,
didn't
it
he?
took a while. It's intense coaching every single
Yeah,
day of the
yeah,
week to get
yeah.
into a specific role. Listen, I'm not saying. I think based on who's available, he should probably be the
Yeah.
backup. I still think I'd like to see Patterson start because I still ultimately think when Celtic go and get a left back, he'll drop out that team, and he'll move over to right back.
No, probably, which is a shame. But he's not
He's
done.
done well. He's done
not
well.
done.
Fair play to him.
But Rangers at the end of the day, a big win for them, and top of the table, as we said, it's massive because
Yeah.
it's a guarantee to be top of the table going into this international break, whether it be
Is this the highest amount of points Rangers have been clear so far this season? 4 of the
Of
second
the-
place.
His
Anybody
Hearts
I think so, yeah.
have dropped away.
So you've
probably.
almost extended the league to the most it's been all season, even though it should be more if they didn't make stupid mistakes.
We've been saying a lot recently about when Rangers click, and we've been saying when they click. And I know this is only one performance and one result, and it's important to remember that. But if this is the start of an upturn in form, because I think I saw a wee bit of stuff between Celtic fans on Twitter last night. Some saying, "Oh, it's only one game; it doesn't really matter." Others were saying, "No, this is a massive missed opportunity," and I tend to agree with that. I think the fact that it's just become before an international break as well, it sort of emphasises that.
I think that there's been a kind of split in that aspect of what you've said. There's a side of the supporter who are like, right, let's calm down, blah blah blah, and then there's a side that's like, no, this is huge. I think that my message and what I would say is there's no need to panic.
It's like a fucking.
This
is the Queen's speech at Christmas.
Let's not panic, is what I'm saying. Like, how many games into the season? 10?
13,
Yeah.
is it not?
Is it 13? Is it as many?
But I agree, and
So
I
12.
don't think panic is what they should do. But ultimately, this is the last few weeks.
No, I agree.
Have been
I do.
Celtic hitting some sort of heights and
Yeah.
Rangers down here,
Because it
And
kind of
ultimately
it
with that-
feels like that way. And as soon as the 90th minute whistle went at Celtic Park on Saturday, we all turned to each other and went, "Sort of fucking hard work out the window." Like, it just feels like.
But it's not.
sort
And
of-
Ange won't be
but it's
worrying.
not.
He won't be panicking.
That's the knee-jerk reaction,
Yeah.
of course. So that's a knee-jerk reaction, and then I agree with you what you're saying there, Ange. Will be, we'll sort it.
See,
We'll sort it.
Rangers have been, if you look at some of the stats in previous games, even against Hearts, you're getting about 20 odd shots. You know what I mean? And I think it's 27 shots against Hearts, something stupid, but only like 4 or 5 on target. Whereas in this game, 30 shots, 12 on target. If you're having that much clear-cut kind of opportunities playing with Rangers. You are going to score goals, and for a lot of the games this season, you just feel that if Rangers got that setting, they probably would have went on to win the game. Motherwell at home, Hearts at home, Aberdeen obviously not that one, but the other ones. So if they can now click and start getting more shots from target, then I think they will.
Early goals are massive for Rangers as well. I remember Rangers last season, they could be like 3-0 up in 20 minutes and just sit there and
2-0 was a pure stand-up.
They'd be 2-0 up really quick and then just sit on it. They've not actually raced into leads that often this season. They did it on the opening day against Livy, and that was kind of a trademark Rangers Gerrard performance. That's not really happened as much.
Something that's been overlooked as well for the game yesterday is Glenn Kamara gets a goal. Guys let him.
An assist,
he got an assist. Stephen Davis got an assist. Scotty Arfield, I'm sure, got an assist. Ramsey got a... So it's like been spread about the team a wee bit. Whereas that's something that I talked about with Morelos. I don't know if I spoke to you about it, but he's been getting more criticism because there's been nobody really around him getting goals, getting assists. So because last season it was, he wasn't scoring a lot either. But because this year it's not been spread about, he's been getting more criticism now. They look at other guys who've been stepped up in this game and then need to kick on and get more goals and
I
assists.
still think Rangers are a much better team with Stephen Davis in the midfield.
Yeah,
a much better team. I still think Rangers' best midfield three is Aribo, Kamara and Davis. I know Lundstrom's done well, but I just think those three are still, I would say, the best three Rangers have got.
Davis yet to get a league goal this season. That's weird.
It's not what
Stephen
he's in the team
Davis,
for, though,
since
is
he's
it?
came back, he's no interested in it like that, really.
It's just weird not seeing his name in the score sheet. Just so used to it for years.
Exactly, because he used to play right midfield and all that for Rangers with Whittaker on the right side.
He just everything just goes quicker. He moves the ball quicker. He's got an eye for a pass. I just think they look so much more fluid. And Aribo was good again as well.
Nah, he's just twinkle toes.
He's been fantastic.
Somebody say
well, that means Rangers are of course quick feet.
Aye.
Jesus Christ!
Did somebody say quick feet?
I get it. Snoop Dogg here.
Aye.
Nice to see you.
Better than your lines, mate. Jesus Christ.
Hey, listen. They need to compare lines on this podcast.
Let's fucking swiftly move on.
4 points. 4 points at the top of the table, Rangers are now. But let's move on to what I thought was one of the surprise results of the weekend, and one that was very disappointing for the home team. St Mirren 0, Dundee 1.
McBake rolls on.
Are we ready for story time with David Buick?
Go on, story time. Lad.
Well, so anyone who listened to the show last week...
Oh, is this going to involve Tom?
It's going to involve Tom.
Yes.
And Tom's going to be watching today because I was told him we'd mentioned the story on the
When
podcast.
you get Tom on the phone.
Did you hear this story?
Oh, Jesus. You need to go back and watch it. Go back and watch it.
So anyway, Tom was coming up to his phone on YouTube yesterday trying to find this, but he said, where is this podcast?
Oh,
and
that's
he searched like Ryan Fitzsimons, and I was like, no, don't get rid of that. So he'll probably watch this. But anyway, so after the Rangers game...
So wait, you just told him not to look at my second channel?
No, that's what he was searching to try and find TSF.
I get
so
you,
I put him on the right track. Anyway, so after the Rangers St Mirren game, he'd gone with the Grand Waynes trying to get in, and
I heard that.
So they'd not give him tickets, so anyone didn't watch that. And he was fuming, absolutely raging, wasn't going back. That was it. So he'd phoned Tony Fitzpatrick, chief executive at St Mirren, and he was going to go mental. He was like, I'm fucking raging, this is a disgrace. Anyway, I'm about to slag him off here, and he knows this is coming and he deserves it. He goes down to St Mirren Park to meet Tony Fitzpatrick, right? And I saw the photos, and you should see this. He's in the door 5 minutes, big hugs with Tony Fitzpatrick. He's getting the photo taken and everything. He was showing me it. Says, I was like, you shite bag. But anyway,
he was getting everything to me.
He was going to tell
that's
him.
that next thing about Tony.
But anyway, so that was. But then Tony Fitzpatrick's basically apologised and all this, and I think Tom's getting the Grand Waynes out at St Mirren Park. They're going to get a wee kick about the team and all that for 5-10.
Oh well,
fair
play.
Because I think there was a problem with whoever was making decisions on the anyway. But it was just funny the way he showed me the photos. So I'm going to take one of them live photos. You get an iPhone, you can probably see them get in for the hug.
Call it a belter.
So you deserve that.
Call it a belter, mate. Did you see who else he was doing at St Mirren Park?
Who? Oh, Joe Biden.
Joe fucking Biden. Was it St Mirren Park?
Why the fuck was he doing there?
Don't know, mate.
Hi Joe, how he's finding the COP26 anyway?
Well, we just watched that video, didn't we? Joe Biden, his team driving his entourage.
Some amount of emissions being released into the atmosphere there.
I know.
I know, but I see this whole. Did you see that this morning? I was howling. It was the Evening Times put it up, and it was like the map of Glasgow. And it's like, here's everywhere that you should avoid in Glasgow for COP26, and everything was red. Literally everywhere, apart from at the East End. East End's fine. Yeah. Like everything's just red.
I do like the idea of Joe Biden going in and having a chat with Jim Goodwin about like St Mirren's early season form.
Yeah, you've really started off poorly, haven't you, Jim?
Big George would be a stunning mess, wouldn't he,
man? Jim, who the fuck you talking to? I know.
That Eamon Brophy, eh? What a player.
The Wolf. Yeah, the Wolf.
What's the biggest thing he's wanting to come out of Cup 26?
No,
is it
ideally to save the world,
Aye.
you know.
No, mine says to get a selfie with Greta Thunberg.
Thunderbird.
That's her new one. She's in Glasgow now too.
I want to see Joe Biden get a pizza supper.
Aye.
Aye.
Pizza crunch.
It's a shame that none of the icons of the old firm are coming. No Queen, no Pope. They
Nah,
two can
no
make
belt.
it. Nah,
The
Pope's.
title race is consumed, the pair of them.
Did you see that tweet a couple of weeks ago? It's like the Queen's been told to rest from watching too much television. It's like, Jesus Christ, is that you away? Aye, no, but anyway, COP26, some laugh. Joe Biden did it at St Mirren.
Right, St Mirren Dundee.
And he didn't give him any luck, did he? Because a 1-0 loss to Dundee
Well, so
is not good
I
enough.
mentioned it last week. I backed Dundee to beat Ross County in the Cup, and obviously it scudded 5-0. And I backed St Mirren to beat Dundee this weekend. And
There is, you know, Jim Goodwin has to look at look at that result. He needs to figure out something.
But they have
They
picked
cannot.
up-
They
they
have.
have picked up
That's the thing.
massively,
But
to be
you
fair.
cannot afford to lose to Dundee at home and they're off the back of a 5-0 scud into fucking Ross
but then
County.
to flip that, James McPake could not afford to not really win. He had to win, and he did.
But I just look at the two teams and I look at the difference in quality in that there, and I would be absolutely gutted if I was a St Mirren fan with that at the weekend.
But the big thing you notice for that, right? You look at the Dundee had just beat Aberdeen going into the Ross County game.
Yep.
Wee bit of confidence, overconfidence maybe. Plays Lee Griffiths and Cummins, right? So very attacking lineup. I don't know what they were like in the midfield, but maybe they didn't protect Adam as much. Obviously, they go and get battered. But then you look at that, Killian Sheridan starts at the top of a 4-5-1.
Yep.
So, you know,
It's almost like
It
dropping
could
Lee
be-
Griffiths wins.
not necessarily, but just being less, like, you know,
Kamikaze.
attacking can help you. So
Well,
that 5-0 might have been a wee bit, yeah.
The thing about Dundee last season, when they actually hit form, was when they took Charlie Adam out of the team, put Jordan McGee in midfield, who's a centre half by trade,
Yep.
and they solidified the midfield a little bit, and they started picking up results. Because I don't
Yeah.
think the defence is good enough. You know, it needs a bit of protection in midfield. So yeah, it's no surprise that when they've gone a little bit more workmanlike in there, they've kind of got
Picked
a
up
result.
results and got a clean sheet,
It's
so it's a massive
3
result.
points. It is a huge 3 points, especially with Ross County not having played at the weekend. It's big for them.
Yeah. But
guess-
it's not. I wouldn't say it's panic stations for Goodwin. And that they just,
Yeah.
Brophy's come into form. You know, he's been scoring goals and they've been picking up results. Have climbed up the
He's
table
going
and
to
that.
get the Stephen Robinson thing of being a victim of his own success.
Exactly, and I also feel every time my team loses nowadays because of social media and that, it's like the fucking world's ending.
I still think if
They're
Stephen Glass
calling
did leave
COP
Aberdeen
26
tomorrow,
climate.
Jim
Although
Goodwin would be there.
3 games
Aye,
without a win, though. You know, and the Dundee
For St
game-
Mirren?
Yeah, for St Mirren. 3 games
Ah,
without
I know
a
that,
win.
but I think they get free. Did they not have 3 wins going into the
I think
Rangers
so.
game?
I think they had
But
something
here's the
with
thing, though.
2 or 3.
I get that, right? But where realistically are St Mirren expecting to finish this year? Because having Hearts
Top
back in the
6.
league who look like they're going to be
I
the top
think
6,
realistically
having Dundee
top
United who look like they're
Do
probably
you
going to be a
think
top
that-
6
do you
side,
think-
Hibs, Aberdeen, St Johnstone, it's going to be a lot tougher this year.
They should be contenders for top 6, but I don't think it's.
Do you
like,
think Tony Fitzpatrick's lowered his expectations from his big claim last season of saying they would finish
I don't
top
think,
6?
but I don't think he claimed to be expecting them. I think he claimed that they could, and why not? That was his thing. His whole thing was why shouldn't Fitzpatrick? And he proved. I think he proved. I know they didn't make it, but I think what he
They
said.
were a ball head away.
It proved quite right. You know, they were more than they were close. And I think ultimately he would have gone to this season hoping that they could achieve that again. I don't think he would have. I don't think for
I
a
mean,
minute.
it's not the end. I mean, you look at the
I don't
table.
think for a minute Tony Fitzpatrick expected St Mirren to finish 6th this year.
It's one of those ones in Scottish football, though. I'm on the side here saying, St Mirren should be disappointed. You're on the side defending them, and that's very well and good. But that's just a game, isn't it? Because you do look at the table. If they'd won that game, they'd be in 5th, and we'd all be saying,
Top
St
6.
Mirren, what a team,
Ultimately,
what a team. You know, it's such fine margins.
They will
in
be
this.
comfortably safe this year.
Yes.
And I
yes,
think
you
that's
imagine
kind of
so.
all that really matters.
yeah, absolutely.
Right, okay, we'll move over. Let's go to Tannadice, where St Johnstone picked up a massive 3 points.
Zander Clark. Have you seen this? I mean, the show really
One man
saves-
deserves the 3 points there.
We're talking about people who deserve Scotland call-ups. He should be in that next squad for me.
Absolutely.
I've,
He's got to be
I've never been huge on him being the Scotland goalie, but he deserves to be in the squads. Just some of the saves he makes, and they're all good saves. But it's just the confidence that he's going to make them, and he eventually helps him seal the 3 points.
Exactly.
And a big 3 points as well.
Massive 3 points.
Going away to a form team in the league, you know.
Yep,
so.
Dundee United we've been ranting and raving about. St Johnstone, on the other hand, we've been kind of questioning, you know, after they've kind of slipped from last season. But they are, I feel like they're also almost in the same boat as St Mirren when we talk about expectations and all the rest of it. You know, they'll comfortably stay up.
Yeah,
And that's what will do them. I
they
think.
could still hit a bit of form yet, though.
Yeah.
And they're in a cup semi-final already, which I know because it's St Johnstone, we don't think it's that much of a novelty. But St Johnstone in a cup semi-final is an achievement.
Yeah, again,
Also, the losing Kerr and losing McCann in the summer was a massive deal, and it took them it hit them for 6 a little bit because they struggled. But no, yeah, I think they're slowly picking up results here and there now. Again, they'll be safe. You'd think maybe 7th or 8th, something like that this year.
Yeah.
And
that's a strong season for St Johnstone.
But what I will say, I mentioned Zander Clark there. Dundee United made Zander Clark be that busy. You know, they created loads of chances. I know obviously they didn't win the game, but we're talking about United now where they expected to win that game. They had the chances to win that game. Whereas last season they were kind of like they were like the plucky underdogs last year. Whereas now they're sort of like becoming a team that you think, wow, they're a decent side. They're going to cause us problems. And yeah, 1 goal separates the sides. But lots of chat again about if that's a derby or not. St Johnstone fans seem to think it is, but it's not.
St Johnstone fans showed up in numbers, so they must.
Yeah, it's not. A few of them were on the same train I got back from Arbroath, and they were quite happy.
Aye.
Be talking about them, man.
No, I did a fuck. I was listening to them. Oh, that's another thing. When I was coming back from the game on Saturday, I meant to tell you this, Ryan. I don't know how I haven't told it yet.
Right.
I was sitting I went Arbroath to Edinburgh and then Edinburgh to Glasgow. I was on the train from Edinburgh to Glasgow, and there was 2 guys in front of me watching Celtic Thunder.
Honestly,
Genuinely, yeah. If I wasn't as miserable as I was, I might have fucking said something.
Did they make any comments during it or that?
No, the guy just said the guy just said to his mate, "You ever watch this?" He's like, "What's that?" "I'm watching that Celtic Thunder." I was like,
that's nice. That's good.
That's cheered him up.
That's chuffing me up. Aye, you know, that's good.
Another train story. Well, I'm at train stories because when I was going up, because the rugby was on Saturday, Scotland were playing at Murrayfield, and I had to go to Glasgow, Edinburgh. And I forgot this, so the train was packing, and there was these 2 boys that were.
The accents on that train would have been brutal,
awful.
man.
There was these 4 boys, and I think they were Stirling Albion fans. They were going to watch Stirling against Kelty, and they ruined the end of the James Bond.
They didn't. Oh, fuming. You'd be fucking fuming.
I was fuming, and the worst thing, I was praying for Kelty to pump them and didn't even win in the end. Raging.
Oh,
I was just sitting there.
That's why I went and seen it. That minute it was out, the minute I could go and see it.
I keep trying, but I'm not going on my own.
Hey, let's try and go on your own.
I don't know.
Pictures on your own's not bad. Therapeutic in a way.
A wee bit nonsense.
Yeah,
we keep talking about how's it nonsense. You got to see Bond. You're not got to see fucking
Sitting in the back yourself with a popcorn and nachos.
Well, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Talk about trains though. Did you see Mad Greta paying for hers? Didn't even bump it.
Fair play to her.
Daft cow. You'd be bumping
Speaking of
that.
trains, what about Francis?
Francis?
Not the Pope, the guy that
I was about to say what Francis isn't.
Francis Bourgeois.
Oh, Bourgeois.
Mate, he is like the best guy in the world, isn't he? I just love him a bit.
Aye.
You seen him, Dove?
No.
There's a train
you
videos.
don't know who he is.
Oh, the wee man. I didn't know his name.
The wee man.
He made see the angle, the 360 angle.
His wee
When his
fishbowl
face
camera.
just looks like a fucking.
Mate, I see it when I initially saw the first video. I thought it was a wind up, and then I went through his TikTok. The guy just loves trains.
Aye,
Mate, just
I love
loves
that.
Aye, there's a big market for stuff like that.
Fair play to him.
I
What a
thought
guy.
it's a dying breed.
Need
Though.
to get him on the phone.
Mate, that was so good.
Hey, what do you think of St Johnstone this season, Francis?
They were telling us what trains pass through.
Well, they're fitting locomotive.
Right, okay, one last game to talk about in the Premiership, in the Cinch Premiership this weekend, and that is Aberdeen 2, Hearts 1. I mean, listen,
The data.
the data is showing that they should be winning these games.
Mate,
they never are.
fair fucking play to Stephen Glass. What a week.
What a week.
Hibs,
What a
Rangers,
few games.
Aberdeen, 7 points out of 9.
Yeah.
You would never have saw that
No,
coming.
no.
What a week for Aberdeen. Fair play to them.
Do you know who's seen it coming? Dave Cormack.
Dave
Yeah, he
Cormack,
did.
yeah.
We got
He
respect.
literally came out and backed his manager before that run of games, and then they've just went and delivered.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
fair play. You've got to respect it.
The numbers
Yeah, and
don't
they're
lie.
into the top 6, you know, they're in where they should
You know who else
be.
had a great week? Scott Brown's had a brilliant
Oh, Scott
week.
Brown,
He's been
he's just a
phenomenal
legend,
over the
man.
last week.
He's turned it a centre half, hasn't he?
He's been really good, and it's like he can do that job in his sleep. He's not even. It's so easy for him. He's just brilliant.
I
He's
just think
been really
teams
good.
are fucking utilising it properly.
It's just
You need to get somebody on them.
He's just the greatest of all time.
He's had a very good week.
just
Ramirez scored again, which is obviously
ball.
good. Yeah.
Like my face, ball.
Marley Watkins as well, he scored. I thought he was going to start at Ibrox. That was a good goal.
Did Ramirez score? I mean,
No, you're talking shite.
I am
But
talking
he
shite.
should have
That's-
scored. Craig
that's
Gordon
right.
made an
Yes,
unbelievable
that's right.
save.
That save from Ramirez was phenomenal.
Obviously, Hearts went ahead, got the penalty.
So
Good penalty, big shooter again. He's just
Yeah, big shooter's doing well.
he's got a wonder right foot, innit?
But can you do me a favour? I've not had the chance to actually go back and watch all of the highlights of this game. I've seen the goals. What was Halliday sent off for?
Well, meeting De
You need to
Bruyne.
see it.
I've not actually seen it.
Get up on your
You
phone.
need to
Because
see it,
watch
'cause we need to
I
talk
don't-
about
We
because
this.
discussed about it. So you just go
Because
see it.
I don't want.
Go and look at your phone.
Oh, well, I think he's getting up for me. I didn't want to go on about it without knowing what actually happened, so I don't really want to give an opinion. So that's why I'm asking just now.
I'm still flipping to and forth about what I think about this.
So,
I don't think. No, it's not a red card.
do you not think it's a red card? So
I
is that a
don't
straight red? No, not a second.
It was
It's a straight red.
it was straight red. Yeah,
Straight red.
Straight red.
It's,
Okay.
it's definitely a yellow card.
It's a
There's-
strong yellow card.
yeah.
Strong yellow.
But then my thing about this, and
But the thing is, he's close to getting the ball. Ferguson just
doesn't
nicks
get
in
the
there and
ball.
gets the ball, mate.
That's kind of
Skip
irrelevant.
to the
isn't it?
end.
I don't think
Yeah.
it's...
Right, but here's my thing. You remember the one on Callum McGregor earlier on in the season, right? Which was a similar kind of challenge. Neither
keep
listen
going.
to this. This is a horrendous podcast.
Talk through
Just
it, David.
fucking talk.
For people on
Talk.
Spotify, they're currently watching it on their phone. I'm not talking to myself because you're not listening.
I'm just showing him. Go talk to
I
me.
know. So remember the Callum McGregor one earlier in the season?
Aye, that was a red.
Right, exactly.
I think I said that was a yellow,
but between the two of them, it's like you can kind of see why he's been sent off in the end. When you keep making challenges like that, you're going to get sent off.
Go on, Bruni.
Shut up.
You don't even want to talk about the challenge, just that.
No, I've only seen the one angle so far. So
It's reckless. It's a bit late. Well, it
The
is a
thing
bit
is,
late.
Ferguson gets up and starts
Walks
laughing.
away. Yeah.
So
I think, I don't think it's a red card, but also
right, here it is, man.
Right, here we go.
Live reaction.
That's right. Okay,
it's a strong yellow, isn't it?
It's a very strong yellow.
You know what I mean?
I can see why
Oh,
he's
totally
given
same.
red.
So
I
can
can
I.
see why he's given the
I know,
red.
but
It's
fucking
it's very.
soft.
I also think if
very
Halliday
reckless.
keeps tackling like that, he deserves to be sent off.
Yeah, but as David said,
What?
it's we
Well,
say
the one
If he keeps what?
if he keeps making fucking, he's going to get sent
So
off
yeah,
eventually.
it's the same thing we say as Porteous, isn't it?
Like, it's just ban tackling. It's ban
No,
heading.
because-
Well, ban heading no hint me for what, under fucking 14, so ban tackling.
No,
no,
but
If he
it's
gets
David-
the ball, we're not having an issue here. But he doesn't get the ball.
I think
and he
that
keeps doing
David
that.
was right earlier in the podcast and saying like it's all very well and good as saying the game's gone soft, but it's been like that for years. It's
I don't think it was a red card personally, but I can understand why he's given it as a red card.
I can understand why he's given us a red. Now would I give a red?
No,
I
I
probably
probably
would.
wouldn't. But what?
no, I agree there.
No,
I can
I think you're
understand why he's
misunderstanding
getting
what I'm saying here. I'm not saying that Halliday deserves to be sent off because he keeps making bad tackles, but I'm saying if he keeps making bad tackles, the chances of him getting sent off are going to be higher.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? Like if he keeps making bad tackles, eventually he's going to get sent off. And yeah, I can understand why he's given it. I don't personally agree with it.
I searched it on Twitter to try and see it early doors before the highlights came out, and a boy was giving Halliday it tight. So he was a Hearts fan, and it seemed to be a theme. There was quite a few Hearts fans giving him it tight, and then there was some, sticking up for him. And then I go in the profile because I was going to slaughter him on the show, and he was fucking Adam's co-host on Perth the Paisley.
Is it? Oh, man.
Aye. I still think he's talking
To be
absolute
fair,
shite, to be honest. And definitely, he was getting called out actually off some of the Hearts fans saying he had a vendetta against Halliday.
I think it's easier to build up sort of, I don't want to use the word vendettas, but it's easy to build up sort of agendas in that front if they are players who are a bit more hot-headed and do annoy
Can
you.
I just say something?
It's
Just to kind of
easy. It's
speak
the
up
same
for
for
him.
any team.
You used to didn't watch Halliday for Hearts last season. He was fucking rotten.
Oh,
Did
no,
he
I
not
knew
score
it was
10
woeful. It
goals
was
last
woeful.
season?
The amount of times he played, he was dreadful.
It was woeful last season. I was
the
getting
time I seen him was against Hibs. He was really good in the semi-final, and I thought he was good against Celtic in the second half.
those
in
were
the
probably his
final.
two best games, which I thought was quite strange. But seeing the amount of times in league games, he was just awful.
I
Who
remember-
was
I-
good?
I
Who was
think-
good for Hearts last year?
No, I
Do
get
you know what I'm
that
saying?
point. Well, Liam Boyce was good. Craig Gordon
I
was
sat
good.
down and watched.
Michael Smith was good.
I watched.
Most will now though. That's the thing. I'm
Janelli
saying.
was good.
I
Yeah,
watched.
agree,
I
but he
remember
was
watching
pretty
Hearts not Broth last season.
It seemed like there was such a crisis though, so
Yeah,
surely
I know,
you could start naming all these players that were unbelievable if
No, I know, but
the Hearts
I know,
fans
but
were
I'm just saying
in
Halliday wasn't
crisis.
very good. It doesn't matter how many of them
No,
are very
that's
good.
Davies-
what I was saying to you,
Davies
man.
away, man. He
I think
doesn't play.
social media's heightened absolutely everything. Do you know? Like Adam was.
Oh, well, absolutely.
I think Adam was going to the top as well on Twitter. It's a first loss, and they're acting as if. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this is what you're saying about vendettas, is because they still all are. Like I keep winding Adam up about how he's not wanting Nielsen out anymore. There are some of them that are looking for an excuse to get Nielsen to
That's
fuck,
what I'm saying,
because
so-
it'll make them proved right in the end.
Do you know what I mean?
Because ultimately, if Nielsen makes an arse of it, they'll all be like, "Oh, we were right all along."
Yeah.
You know. So
Nah, fuck them.
First loss.
As Kieran Old says, keep the bastards down.
First loss. You know what I mean?
but it has been coming for weeks, hasn't it?
Aye, you can, you know.
You're
you
going to
can
get
see
pelters
them.
again in the comments for being biased, ain't you, man?
I'm not being biased.
Keep the bastards down and all that.
Nah,
Just
keep the bastards
come
down.
at it from a different angle, mate. Jesus Christ.
No, that's-
all right, Halliday, all right.
I know, Max. I know.
Settle down.
I was about to say, fuck it. He's gone. Let him go. He's not coming back. Fuck's
No, I
sake.
love Andy.
Ah, he's a prick. I'm joking.
And Budge is fuming with him after that PA stint he did at the Hearts Open Day yesterday.
Wow.
The
Oh, aye,
tunes.
with the tunes.
The
They put the sash on.
Somebody put the sash on and there was like
Christ.
Oh, that's what I was going to
say.
say, aye. What's that all about? Who's done that? It's got Andy Halliday in it. Well, there's a few contenders. To be fair.
You, for fuck's sake.
He's missed
Craig
next week anyway,
Halkett.
so.
Who else is it? Do
Craig Halkett
Barry.
he would have a cheek now, wouldn't he, after that goal a few weeks ago?
you know who it probably was? Nielsen.
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 Oh, Big Jig. I mean, there's so many
Big
options.
Jig. Big Jig.
I tell you who it wasn't. Stephen Naismith. Wasn't him?
Wasn't it Naismith? No. Is McPhee still at Hearts?
No.
Did he go? Aye.
Austin
Left ages
McPhee.
ago.
Did he?
He's
Aye. Wasn't
the
sure.
set piece
He's
guy for Brighton, isn't he?
Aye, he's
Oh,
Scotland's coach.
that's right. Aye, somewhere.
Coach of Scotland now.
Coach of
isn't he?
Scotland,
So what a
Scotland.
result for Aberdeen though.
Yes, fantastic result for Aberdeen, and I think that Stephen Glass does deserve a lot of the credit. Christ, we went down rabbit holes there. But that was it for the Premiership. Just to look over the league table, heading into the next set of games, which will be the last set before the international break, as we've already discussed. Rangers top by 4 points. Ross County still at the bottom 4 adrift of Dundee. However, we should quickly highlight that Hibs and Ross County didn't play this weekend.
You'd be fuming if you were a
Due
Highby.
to did you see that I was howling?
The video of the CCTV in the pub.
No, that was. You'll need to tell me about that in a minute. But somebody, so obviously Hibs put up the tweet saying, "Oh, we're sorry to all the Hibs fans. Games that have COVID or whatever." And somebody replied,
I'm in fucking Inverness.
For fuck's sake, I'm already halfway there." Somebody replied, "Well, you're already halfway home." I was fucking howling.
Yeah, it was good. There was a footage of it's like Hibs fans in the pub in Dingwall when they realised they heard the game was called off, and it's just footage of people in the pub and they're like, "Fucking yes!" So yeah, Hibs fans delighted they didn't have to watch their team on Saturday.
You just have a laugh up in Dingwall, wouldn't you?
But
the
it's a
one
good
pub.
away day, and the football's just a sideshow for away days like that, really, isn't it?
It is. Like,
I'm still sitting here thinking about Andy Hardy. Moan about Andy. I miss you.
Christ
dearie
almighty.
me.
Get up, son. If I can get
I love
Earl,
Andy Hardy.
I can get Earl Brown. You can get Earl.
How can you get Earl Brown, man? You're a fucking
He's
plastic.
the greatest of all time. Look at him.
But look, we've moved on.
Jesus.
We've moved on.
Right, speaking of moving on, can we move on to the Championship?
Let's
please?
go to the Championship. And let's-
Who's your favourite player in the SPFL?
In the whole
Mine.
4 leagues.
In the like the 12 teams that play in the
so
top
the
league?
Premiership. the
Premiership,
Premiership.
Who's your favourite player?
I
Is it not Brown?
No, not anymore. He doesn't play for Celtic.
Who's
My favourite player's not going to be a non-Celtic player.
Should still be Brown.
Mine's is probably.
Not saying praise him, not that and fucking
I love him,
cheer him
but
on and that,
it's not
but
Are you telling me that Halliday's your favourite player in the Premiership?
no, I'm not telling you. that.
yeah, you're literally sitting there dying to say it, aren't you?
No, Barry Mackay is.
Oh Jesus! I think
What
mine's
player,
just
Barry Mackay?
quickly becoming Jota. I think he's just a level above this league. Class.
I mean, of all time.
All time.
Aye.
Barry Mackay's your favourite player in the Premiership of all time?
If you had to,
What,
you
did
had
they
a gun,
But
right?
well, do they have to still be playing in the Premiership?
Aye.
Because I was going to say like Arthur Boric.
They need to
but-
still be playing for them.
Well, that's probably Brown. Aye.
There we go then.
Aye, but I'm over him, aren't I? I'm over him.
This
Still
is the
pumping,
most
but-
mind-numbing conversation now.
Yeah, I know what was the point of that
I'm
conversation.
trying to, it's making me think who my favourite Premiership
Who is your
player is.
Just start up conversation.
Tom Rogic is probably.
Rogic or Davis, probably.
One of
I
the
always
two.
loved day 2.
Aye.
They're good players.
Yeah. Rogic will probably. I love Rogic, man.
Nice. You've not got any for the Scotland team, maybe? Try to think who the
Favourite player in the Scotland
Nisbet's been
team.
shite this year,
Well,
hasn't
aye, Nisbet's one of yours, surely. You love Nizzy.
he? Rogic and Davis are always
Andy
my two,
Robertson's
though, I
his.
love them. But he's done play in the
Innit?
Premiership.
Andy
so I don't
Oh,
think-
right. Because he said the Scotland team. He said the Scotland team. He changed
Aye,
the
but-
question.
aye, but I meant
he changed the
Scottish team
question.
that played in the Premiership.
Well, wait, ask
Right,
David a
we're moving
question.
on to the Championship.
Right, let's give David his moment. Let's
Oh,
go.
I hate it when you do this as if
No,
like
no,
it's,
no, this is it, mate. You've been waiting.
I've not. Listen.
You've been waiting, and it's the big story in the Championship.
The Championship.
The Championship.
I think it might be it's one of the biggest stories in Scottish football. at the
Yes,
moment,
exactly, it is.
Peter Grant away via gig pod.
Hey.
Yeah.
You don't seem very excited.
No,
mate.
it wasn't. See, even when the news broke yesterday, it was like relief rather than. And I'm not like, yeah.
Peter Grant in a bag of
I'm not
cans.
one for sitting here going, thank fuck. I mean, I said that. I can't wait for him to go and all that. But now he's gone. I'm a bit like.
Oh, man's lost his job.
Listen.
Aye, but he can be like that as well.
But see,
someone-
people, like, I'm not going to sit here and go, "Ye fucking thank." I mean, now I'm delighted he's gone.
I mean, the
because
man's
he's not a very
unemployed.
good. He's not a very good manager. But at the same time, like, people are going, "Oh, thank you, Peter Grant.
What?
You tried hard and put effort in." Really, fucking thanking him for that. It should be the bare minimum.
Yeah, it's a joke, isn't it?
I like people say thank you for trying and putting effort in. Mate, if you're the manager of the firm, that's a minimum. You shouldn't need to thank for that. He wasn't a very good football manager, and he's gone now. Thankfully, was a good guy. Anytime I met him, fair play. I hope he has success.
You
in
spoke
the
to him
future.
a couple of times, didn't you?
Yeah, and he was a decent guy. He seemed like a good guy, and I know he will have been hurt. It's obviously a big blow for him. I mean, his credibility as football manager is down the drain just now. But thank God he's gone because it gives me a little bit of hope again in my football team. Just now knowing that who we could get in next, that's the big discussion now. Who's going to be next on film manager? Kenny Miller came out yesterday and put himself
He's
in
been
the frame for
floating
the
about,
job.
hasn't he, Kenny?
Kenny Miller saying that he wants to manage some firmans like me saying I want to play for Scotland. It's just not going to fucking happen.
You think so?
Yeah,
He
he's
said,
no
he
way
said this to me in
qualified
work.
for this at
He
all.
said that to me in
He
work
wasn't for
yesterday.
Livy
He
either,
wasn't for
wasn't he?
Livy, aye. I'm not saying it's going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
No, I don't think it will either. But don't be so hasty, son.
No
Stranger
wonder
things
he's
have
interested in
happened.
that job. That would be a phenomenal job for him.
It would be huge for him.
Look at Barry Ferguson, Clyde Kelly Alloa. He's not had a job at Dunfermline stature, and he's more qualified than Miller is. I don't think he did great down in Australia from what I've heard either. And at Livy, he went up front for 3 games as player manager and told them to pass him the ball and then left. So fuck knows what happened there. He's the first one that's kind of openly said they want it. Favourites are obviously Stuart Petrie, John Robertson, and Dick Campbell's mentioned. Don't think that'll happen. Yoey Hughes, another one who's been mentioned. I want John Robertson to be next Dunfermline manager.
That would be a very good appointment.
The rumours are that John Robertson was at East End Park this morning for an interview, so that would be a phenomenal appointment. It would be my number one choice. Ticks all the boxes as far as I'm concerned. Petrie, Dick Campbell, Yogi, or Robbo would be my 4. Any of those I'd be happy with.
Oh, Robbo. He's already got a nickname it.
I'd love Robbo.
Just to clarify,
because remember when we first started
No, Andy
TSF, Ryan,
Robinson.
when Hearts were in the Championship, I always said on here that John Robertson was the best coach in the Championship when Nielsen was there.
That's right.
I just always loved him.
He is a very good coach, and of course things obviously happened up in Inverness that made that he had to leave the job and all that. So
he's a character as well. He's a big character. He's a big presence. You'll kind of get the players going. He's tactically astute. He knows the league. He ticks all the boxes, and if the rumours are true, then
here's my big question: what is the expectation now for the manager coming in?
Survival.
Just survival now. Yeah,
for this season that will be his. Yeah, I think so.
Right.
Survival and then rebuild. I still think we can finish in the playoffs.
I think
the
it's
Championship, like you go.
I think a lot of people don't, because a lot of people are saying that the squad is dreadful now because they've been rubbish. I don't agree with that.
It's still a very good
I think
squad.
a good manager can get a tune out of a lot of those players. I think we can finish in the top 4, but I think to get a manager now and tell him that he has to finish in the top 4 is ridiculous. We're in too bad a state now. So it will be survival in the league, which I think we will do comfortably, if I'm honest. I think we're too good to go down, which I know is something you should never ever say, but now we're getting a new manager and I feel comfortable saying that. And then rebuild, and I think whoever does come in now will get a bit of time. And I'm looking forward to that, just as long as they win a game of football. Just one.
Just a game.
Just a singular
Do you know
game.
what I thought it was going to be? See, getting into how negative you were going down to Arbroath and how you just couldn't see a win happening.
2-0 up,
The
I
fact
thought
you
we
were
were gonna get
2-0
beat.
up, I was like, this is surely going to be it. And then they pulled it back to 2 each. It wasn't until about 3 years later I realised it finished 4-2.
Just to kind of talk about Peter Grant again, he's managed 28 games in the Championship in 2021 at Alloa, then Dunfermline. In those 28 games, he's only won 3. And we decided to appoint him and then keep him on for as long as we did. It was gross negligence on the part of the board. So they have to get this. They have to get this one right. They've promised a fresh and thorough recruitment process.
For fuck's sake,
which
he's looking for a coach.
No, I just looking for a coach. Teach me. I love a shit.
It's
It's funny.
just what it has to be. Hopefully we get a decent manager in. I don't expect it to happen anytime soon. I think maybe 2 weeks. So we'll see.
Do you think it'll be as long as that if they've already got Robertson in for an interview?
Well, here's the thing. As much as I would love John Robertson to be announced as the Dunfermline manager right now, it's not going to fly with so many people because it will be seen as if they've rushed it, and they can't afford to be seen to do that again.
As long as you're not waiting 100 odd days.
In an ideal world, now,
a week or
hopefully, I would think the board should have been sounding out candidates for the last 4 or 5 weeks, because they've known that this was probably going to happen.
How long was did you, correct me if I'm mistaken, we used not quite a long wait for the appointment of Peter Grant as well?
No, I don't think so.
It was
a
because
couple of weeks, but it was
summer,
off,
wasn't
it was
it?
off
Was it-
season though. So
I just I can't remember. Obviously,
Stevie
'cause
left at the
Celtic
end. Stevie left at the end of May, and he came in mid-June, I think. But that was off season, so you could get away with that now. Now you can't. Shields and Whittaker are going to take the team on Saturday, by the sounds of things. What happens with those two, I don't know, because Grant had to come in and work with them. Whether they're going to get a new manager to bring his own people in, I don't know. I still think. I mean, Stephen Whittaker's obviously just become a coach, but he's somebody you'd want at the club, I think. Good experience. Clearly wants to progress his coaching career, so he'd be a good guy to have around. I don't know, but it is just exciting now knowing that we have got a bit of positivity back, and hopefully we'll see some wins coming soon. But Robbo,
Yeah, best of luck to Dunfermline in their
So we need
quest for
Robbo.
Championship survival.
Championship survival.
Yes.
It's mental to even say that.
I know it is,
I can't wait to look back at my end of the season, like my tweets from the fucking July when we were battering teams 7-1 in the League Cup. I was convinced we'll win the league.
Who was it he's beat 7-1?
Dumbarton.
Decent result in that.
And I think puts 5 past Steny as well. I don't know.
What happened? What went wrong?
We started
scoring
playing
goals.
decent football teams, and then I mean we played Dumbarton and had 13 available players that day, and then had a COVID outbreak during the week, and we put 7 past them. And I mean I was fooled by it, but I'm a fan. I'm allowed to be fooled by it. It's the directors that are not allowed to be fooled by it. but we move on.
We move on. We do move on. It's just
The game, though, quickly, just Arbroath, obviously, we were 2-0 up, Kevin O'Hara scores 2 decent goals, and Arbroath just do what they do, and they're just a much better football team than us at this moment in time, which is mental to say.
Boy McKenna as well.
Mikey McKenna,
he's top goal scorer in league, isn't he, for midfield?
He got one, he got credited with the second, but it wasn't him, it was Newbley that got the second. Yeah, he got the penalty.
What's his background?
He's an anti-vax weirdo, that's all I know.
For fuck's sake, no, I
wasn't expecting that.
His Twitter was something to behold.
Oh no.
McKenna?
Evan McFarlane bodied him, it was quite funny.
You talk about McKenna?
Yeah.
Alright.
Anyway, so, but yeah, Bobby Lynn, the bin man, scores a wonderful goal to make it 3-2, and then it ends up 4-2. And then Dunfermline fans said, someone decided to charge the change rooms and try and get in the dressing room full time, and then the players got locked in and the bus got escorted out and they were trying to get to the bus and all that, which was...
Oh, I seen all that, the videos.
I was on the train by that point for anybody who's trying to accuse me of being involved in that.
That's
I did get a few messages. You charging at the bus? I was like, I'm on the fucking train, what are you on about?
So see that video and it's Grant, you get Celtic. Is that you?
I don't know.
It sounds like you.
It might be me.
I think it is you.
It was down at Ayr, but remember down at Ayr I hadn't been to sleep. Remember?
Yeah,
I'd been out the night before and I hadn't been to bed yet.
Aye.
Yeah, I was not in a good way.
That would have been you then.
That was
it was
definitely you. It sounds so much like you. That's going to be David. Very quickly before we move on to the rest of the championship game, Steve Clark will name his Scotland squad tomorrow for Moldova and Denmark.
Johnny Russell.
Gold.
I want Johnny Russell in the squad.
Mate, he's flying.
You seen his record?
Gold and Russell.
I'm not.
He's got 28 goals in MLS this season.
Really? I'm not an MLS man myself.
Is it 28 goals? I think that's right.
I'm no joking. It is the poorest quality of football I've ever seen in my life.
I think that's so harsh.
It's piss poor.
Right, do you think think English League One is better than the MLS?
I would rather watch a League One game in MLS.
No, but do you think it's better?
I think there's maybe an argument for it, yes. I think there's aspects, there's players in the MLS that of course are great, fantastic.
Teams like Atalanta, you think Atalanta would... Do you think they would
Atalanta? What, we got the Italy fuck's sake?
Atlanta, sorry.
Atlanta.
Do you think Atlanta wouldn't win League One in England?
I'm saying there's...
They would piss League One in England.
You go and stick on fucking Real Salt Lake versus...
Portland Timbers
on a Wednesday night. It wouldn't
I think Rangers team would piss League One in England.
Jesus Christ, it's
poor. The wage structure as well over there, it means that it's like all the other sports, so you'll get somebody on like a max contract all the way down to guys that are fucking earning minimum wage,
exactly.
Low wages. So the drop off in quality is just...
It's all very
crazy.
well and good watching clips of the MLS and going, oh, that's great, but see, when you stick on a 90-minute game, and I've done it a good few times, it is torture. Genuine torture.
It was 28 games, I saw the stat, but I don't know. He'd scored 14 and 28. He hadn't scored 28 goals. It's one every two, though.
Who's he played for against?
Kansas City.
Kansas.
But I mean, he's also... He's somebody that's been in Clark's squads before. We don't have Lyndon Dykes, we don't have Ryan Christie from Moldova. We need somebody that's going to come in and score some goals. Che Adams hasn't looked it for Scotland so far.
Che Adams scored at the weekend.
A great goal at the weekend. But at the same time, he's not really done it for Scotland yet. Kevin Nisbet's banging out of form. We need something. Tony Watt, Ross Stewart, Johnny Russell, someone like that.
By the way, that's a shout.
That's a shout. They're in the quarter-final.
By the way, how many goals do you think Ross Stewart would score in the MLS?
So this is why I was asking
about 30.
Well, no, he definitely wouldn't.
About 30. I'd put 30 on.
30.
But then, I mean, yeah.
Does
Lewis Morgan come back in as well? Maybe that's another shout.
This is the reason as well that I say that the MLS is...
Because Higuain says...
But Lewis Morgan never got a fair crack of the whip at Celtic, in my opinion. Really? Never got a fair crack of the whip. They chucked him up front half the time and they didn't have a striker, and then they were shite and they blamed it on him.
To any American viewers of their podcast, we are sorry. Well, I'm sorry that I'm slagging the MLS off, but I think that, you know, the statistics and numbers of what sports get watched over there would show they don't rate it.
Favourite sport or something. Come on.
I just think we need to look out the box in this next squad, because he's going to need to leave a larger squad anyway, because
Dykes
and Christie are going to be in the squad.
They
won't play against Moldova.
I'd rather see Tony Watt than
would you rather see
although
Tony
Ross Stewart is a good shout, like if you compare
maybe
him
a better fit for
Dykes,
Scotland.
It's maybe a better fit.
Did you say would I rather Ross Stewart or Tony Watt?
Yeah,
it's a good question.
I think Ross Stewart would be a better fit for Scotland.
I think for Scotland, I think Ross Stewart would be better.
But I think he's going to go with. I just wish James Forrest had come back 3 weeks earlier than he has done, because then he would definitely be a shout for maybe even starting in this game, because you need somebody that's going to put the ball in the net.
Where would you start, Forrest?
Play him off Adams.
Play him off, Adams.
Because you've not got Christie who would normally play that role.
Does
Nisbet's bang out of form.
Fraser play from Newcastle? I don't even know, does he?
Not really, but he's not. I mean, I like Fraser playing it further up the pitch for Scotland, but a lot of people are not keen on him.
I think
He's done alright in that position, like off the striker.
Fraser's played a decent amount.
Unless, I mean, the problem is we're so blessed with centre midfielders, but against Moldova you need to go a bit more attacking.
See if Ryan Gold comes. Is Ryan Gold in your squad? Would you call Ryan Gold
I
up?
haven't thought about it enough yet.
Would you call Ryan Gold up?
7 starts for Ryan Fraser this season in the league.
That's not too bad.
Who would I call up?
Ryan Gold.
I think that his time in Portugal showed that he maybe deserves it. Yeah, I'm just still pissed off that he went to America.
I think it's a great move for him.
No, I think it was
Said at the time.
Financially, aye.
The lifestyle, everything.
Yeah, no,
see,
from that aspect, fair play. I'd do the fucking same.
See if Gold end up getting called up to the squad, then it was a
But
good
again,
career move as
everyone
well.
just assumed
But
that he had all these offers. Everyone's assuming he could have gone and played. I mean, how do we know he had all
surely
these offers?
he could have went to the Championship or the League One.
Anywhere in Europe, surely.
Fuck me, you want to play in Millwall or play in fucking
Yes.
Vancouver?
I'd
Come on, let's
rather,
behave here.
if you're a professional, you'd rather play for Millwall, I think.
Not so sure about that.
Maybe not Millwall, but any other team in the
Maybe not
Championship.
Millwall. But you know, that's what agents are for, aren't they? It's like, well, people assume they has offers. Well, agents are meant to go out and get
Right,
you
but
offers.
Exactly.
we'll probably do a live show. Can somebody come and get people to do a live reaction to the squad
can,
tomorrow?
yeah. What time's it normally out again? Like,
It's midday, is it not?
Midday, mid
Ah,
afternoon.
we'll
I'm
try.
working. I could probably do it before I got work. Actually,
we'll get
we'll
it
probably do a
done.
live
12
reaction
o'clock or
tomorrow.
something.
Aye. Anyway, let's go back through League One because it's the Championship because we got.
That'll be a double upload. Oh no, is this camp tonight?
Let's
This
go
will probably
tonight.
up tonight.
Oh,
aye.
that's alright.
Right, look, we're 56 minutes in, so let's dance, as George Bowie would say. Rafe Rovers 2. Is this the right week? Aye?
Yeah.
It's Rafe Rovers 2 1. I just wanted to make sure. What you on your face for us? Want to make sure.
Because you really should let me just take the Championship, but you still,
Right, go then.
you still maintain on doing it yourself.
Go,
And-
right, go.
Well, I don't have all the results in
Just
front of
swap
me.
seats, go.
Go.
Two you swap seats, go for the Championship. bit.
Well, Rafe Rovers beat who the fuck did they beat again? They won 2-1 against
Oh, fuck.
2-1
Back to
against
you,
2-1 against Ayr United at Starks Park. Dario Zanatas got an absolute wonder goal, copy and paste from him, cuts inside on that right foot and fires it in the top bin like he's been doing all season long. Big win for Rovers.
I knew that.
So daft.
The
Zanata,
one
clear.
I'm quite happy for just to run through the results, but the one I really wanted to mention was Hamilton and Morton at Capello, because it was just outstanding cinch. It was just superb cinch. Ends up 1 each, a really, really late goal. I'm not sure if it was Gozi or an own goal, but Morton won a free kick in the halfway lane and the ref blows the whistle, and it's quite a long whistle, and the Hamilton fans in the stand think it's a full-time whistle, so they start cheering the whistle. And then like 30 seconds later the ball's in the net and it's 1 each. And you can see Stuart Taylor on the touchline going fucking tonto, like he's going mental at the referee, and like the full-time whistle goes and he shakes Casper Person's hand and he gives it the full Vince McMahon strutting to see the referee. It's just outstanding cinch, and a good point for Morton. Hamilton are just having a really tough season.
Talking about Hamilton, I seen you.
Big chipper Brian Rice.
I seen you weren't happy with that suggestion.
Why would I be happy
I
with
don't
that
know, but I've seen
suggestion?
a few Dunfermline fans saying Brian Rice as well.
I think they were winding me up though. A
Think
couple of them were winding me up.
I see a couple of people like genuinely putting up tweets though saying like get Brian Rice.
Based on what?
I don't know. I'm just asking. What,
I
I think he done okay.
I would
with
take
Hamilton.
Brian Rice as Yogi Hughes' assistant. I would take the two of them because I mean they work together at Hibs
that's right.
and they work together. Is it somewhere else? They definitely work together at Hibs anyway. So I would take them as a two. But I
do you
wouldn't
think you've
take
done a good enough job with Hamilton now?
what getting relegated. No.
I think he saved him the year before though. Didn't he?
But it's a completely different task. I know we need
I'm
to stay up
not
this year,
saying Brian Rice
but
should
we need
be.
the next manager of Dunfermline needs to get Dunfermline promoted. It's just that's what has to
Mate,
happen.
I think they need to know how to get results. Didn't they? There was a big thing made out of Brian Rice when he first went to Hamilton. He tried to change his style to try to play more good football, and then he ended up having to develop back. So I think maybe just go with
You need
somebody
somebody
that's going to get results.
who's proven that can win games and get
Results
promotion.
quick.
John Robertson, mate. That's just what we need. But yeah, I wouldn't. No, I just wouldn't. They can't afford to get this one wrong. They have to get it right.
Yeah.
And you've got to find that balance between getting a safe pair of hands, but also somebody you know is going to do well. So there's very few that fall into that category.
But I would
John
love to see
Robertson's-
Big Chipper back in employment. Not to be honest with you.
It just screams to me like disaster. To
I
be
know,
honest.
but it'd be funny.
Yeah, for you lot maybe.
Right.
Where were we anyway?
We'll go
I
to
did-
Kelly 4, Queen of the South 0.
They're going to win that league.
It looks like it
They're
now.
cruising towards
They're
now. Ollie Shaw's banging form too.
Yeah.
I've always rated, since the very first episode of this podcast, I've rated Ollie Shaw. He's finally finding the stride.
Yeah.
What do you like about him, Ryan? His playing
Oh,
style?
he's just a player, mate. He always has been.
Well, that's what he does well.
Just scores. He scores goals, mate.
Nice.
That's it. No, but look, listen.
What kind of striker is he? I don't.
He's just a big lad, you know.
Well, he's just a big lump, is he?
Just likes goals.
Yeah.
He's just a striker that likes goals. I don't know what you want
He's
here.
He's probably getting a
Move
goal
on.
bonus.
He's
He
just
can.
good.
Move on.
I liked him when
Do you
he
think
was
they get
at
goal
Hibs.
bonuses done there? Aye, surely.
He will do. Some of them will do.
About a ton or something.
They're 20 quid.
100 quid, 200.
I don't know.
I don't think that's a bit much, isn't it?
A hundred maybe.
That's not a big much.
Well, most of
You're
them.
talking about $5,000 and all that for bigger teams.
Aye.
I know, but most of those boys get around like £500 a week.
Aye. That's what I saw
So
a
a
bit.
hundred's 50 or 100.
I was going to say, that's score all day. You just walked in the tunnel.
Well, Ollie Shaw actually, Kelly would be more than 500 a
Aye,
week.
that's what I mean.
It'll be close, about 800. I'd
And
say.
if his wages are a bit lower, maybe his goal bonus is higher.
Maybe,
Give him
maybe.
that incentive.
I like
You know?
that.
Partick Thistle 0, Inverness 0.
Yeah, it just wasn't to be for the Kelly Jags.
yeah.
They've hit a wee bit of a rut recently, but again, that was always going to happen after they started really well. Thistle as well, they've had a couple of draws at home recently, Dunfermline obviously, and then Inverness. But two teams I think will comfortably finish in the top 4. I keep saying this, so I mean, look at the top 4. I mean, Thistle will be up there, Inverness will be up there, and Kelly are guaranteed. I think maybe not guaranteed, but I think they'll still be in the top 4. And you've got Rovers as well, who are flying in Arbroath. As much as I say Dunfermline can still finish the playoff, it's going to be very fucking tough now.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough.
I mean, with 15 points off. Actually, I mean, I don't even think I do believe that now. I actually think about it.
Yeah.
I said it after the Queen of the South game. I said we could still finish the playoff, and I believed it then. Now, actually, I don't think I do. We're a mile off, to be fair. We're 15 points behind Arbroath.
Yeah.
They're part time.
It's a lot of points, isn't it?
There's a lot to it. Look, there's the way I would look at it in the Championship is, you know, you've had this start, there's so much time left for someone to go through the exact same sort of run and you can make up for it, but it is just difficult, isn't it? It's just,
It is. I mean, if we go and put a run together 4 or 5 wins, then we can really propel ourselves. But when you've got teams that are,
You just don't really get that in the Championship, though, do you?
yeah, you do occasionally.
one
You
half.
get teams that do that. I mean, when Stevie Crawford first came in, he won his first 5 games, and we looked like we were going to finish in the playoffs. And because of that 5-game winning streak, we ended up escaping relegation by a point because we were shite for the rest of the season.
I just feel like down there everybody can beat everybody, draws.
But that's why. But you
so
see
I
it a
just
lot every
don't
season when
see
a
it
team goes
happening.
through a bit of form, like Dundee towards the end of last season, they started winning every week. And
No,
as soon
it
as one
definitely
team
can.
clicks,
Aye, it definitely can happen.
Well, when it does happen, it makes a
man.
massive difference. So,
Yeah.
but it's such a massive gap to turn over now.
yep, the Since Championship is rip roaring, free scoring. Never boring.
Here's a shout. If Dunfermline are within 6 points to the playoff by the new year, then they'll finish the playoffs.
Just not even in
But
points.
I mean,
It's not going to happen.
But that's 9 points to make up between now and New Year, which is a lot.
Stevie Whittaker's got to get a job.
Imagine that.
He won't get the job.
A joint manager.
Him and Greg Shields, no chance.
Right, Dundee League 1, we'll run through the results. Did we do Twitter questions this week? I don't
He
feel like
put it
it's-
up late
Did
when
you
they were
see?
here.
Oh, did you? Good stuff.
So-
Right, okay, Scottish League 1. Big results for Queen's Park. Start with them, Fucking 3-2 win. Oh, sorry, no.
3 each draw.
3 each draw, sorry. I was reading that as a 3-2.
Game of the weekend.
3 each.
I think I said it was going to be the game of the weekend.
You
as
did,
well.
you did. I think you said it was going to be an absolute cracker. I think we all agreed it was going to be good, but I think I only said it was going to be like 1-0 to Queen's Park.
I thought it was going to be goals, mate. See, when you looked
Nah,
at
I
the week
thought it'd be
before,
tight, man.
there was
I
a
thought it'd
couple
be
of
tight.
4-3s, I'm sure.
But
Queen's
3
Park
each.
conceded 4.
And Queen's Park going down to 10 men as well. Simon Murray, the man, getting sent off. But
A bit of miss.
you know, top of the table clash, of course, always going to be exciting watching them as the season goes on. Alloa 2, Airdrie 1.
That was a big result as well. Ewan Henderson got another brace.
Yep.
Obviously started in this
He
game.
is flying, by the way.
I
Hearts are
thought-
struggling for strikers to score goals behind boys.
Exactly.
And Big Nandry has been taking a lot of criticism recently, and Henderson's banging them in for Queen's Park.
Yep.
So sorry for
For Alloa.
Alloa.
They've come on to a game now, Alloa as well, just beat Queen's Park, and then that's a good
That's right.
result versus Airdrie. I thought Airdrie would maybe just nick that, because I think if Airdrie had won that, they'd have went top of the league. So what a result that is for Alloa.
Yep, Clyde's struggles go on. A 3-1 win for the Bairns. Falkirk getting that even with a man sent off. But Clyde are right down there, stinking at the moment. Ninth
Yeah,
in
I
the
mean,
table. East Fife
It's
2.
not very good, are they?
Dumbarton 1. And then finally the last game of the weekend in League 1 was Peterhead Montrose, a stinker of a 0-0. But 3 red cards over the weekend in League 1 across the 5 games. Very nice.
It's drama in Scotland, mate.
Drama, mate, always full of it. And then in League 2, Kelty held to a draw with Stirling, as you touched on earlier, David.
Not quite enough for Stirling Albion, though. They needed to win that, I think, to really kind of get a title race going. I think Kelly will still finish clear.
Stranraer 2, 4 for 3. A very exciting game of football there.
Joe Cardle scored again, though, by the way. Super Joe.
Oh, Super Joe, do you get the score sheet for Kelty?
Just loved
And
it.
in 1, Cowden Beef 0.
And Gary Boland sacked by Cowdenbeath as well.
Oh, was he getting a job by?
Yeah.
About
So here's an outside shout for that's come up for the Dunfermline job this morning. Mark Fotheringham used to play for Dundee United and Celtic actually at one point. Was the assistant coach at Ingolstadt. Is it in
Ingolstadt,
Germany?
aye.
And was there as they got promoted to the second division, I think. Bundesliga 2, I think they got promoted to, and he was in the coaching team there. He left in the summer and was offered the job permanently, but out of loyalty to the manager decided to leave as well, and his name has come up this morning as a potential option for the Dunfermline job. Now that's largely just down to the German work. I think it's just kind of lazy.
It's like when people said Scott Burns wrote in the Record yesterday, Brian Rice emerges as early front runner at Dunfermline. Then you read the article, and Scott Burns has just decided that Brian Rice is a front runner because he's not got a job.
Aye.
It's people. It's anything for a click in it.
That guy you're talking about, actually, I'm sure Kenny Miller was talking about him on Open Goal doing the pro licence with him.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was. Aye. He's been over in Germany for quite a while.
Yes. He's not at the manager's job yet, though.
No.
And this is why in the summer he might have been an option, but he's not going to be an
Not
option now. We need a manager.
Aye.
What was I going to say? Do you know what the most famous thing to come out of Ingolstadt is?
No idea.
Frankenstein.
Nice.
That's where he was created.
Topical as well.
Conceived.
Yes. How's it topical? Oh,
It's
Halloween.
Halloween.
Yes.
Fucking dopey
Well, it's done
bastard.
now in November. All Souls Day today.
Yesterday, fuck.
You could have told it yourself it was done now. Fuck's sake.
I know, that mask.
Wow.
Right, move on.
Anyway, big shout out in terms of Scottish people in football to Davy Moyes. By what a job that
Davy
man
Moyes.
is
See the
doing.
clip of him?
1,000
hero.
games, I think.
I just win.
I just win.
That's what I do.
I love him.
win.
I'm honestly so
Hero.
delighted for him.
Yeah,
Absolutely
same.
delighted for
I
him.
couldn't be more chuffed because as someone who likes Manchester United, as we all know, I wanted nothing but David Moyes to succeed at Man United, and I was backing him to the very bitter end. I didn't want to see him sacked. He was sacked. His career went in tailspin. People were writing him off. I was suggesting he should have got the Celtic
Remember
job
when
a few
people
years
laughed
ago.
at that suggestion?
Yeah.
Mate,
You look at it now, there've been some
he's
appointment.
probably done brilliant at Celtic.
Mate, David
I mean,
Moyes
he would have
what
done
a
brilliant at
manager.
Celtic.
And
What a job he's
1,000 games, I think that is now,
Aye, that's
in
right.
management, which is a feat that not many people reach. You know, it's difficult. Mourinho, for example, only celebrated his 1,000th game 3 weeks ago.
Aye.
So it's huge, man.
Where do you think? Just I know he's not going to leave West Ham anytime soon. Where do you think Moyes will go next? Because although he's done brilliant at West Ham, I don't see him getting a top 6 job.
No. I think the level is sort of like West Ham for him.
Here's
now.
my shout where Moyes will go next. I think David Moyes will, after leaves West Ham, with Scotland manager.
Do you think so?
Nah,
Yeah, I think
no
so.
chance.
I don't know if he'll.
Steve Clark would leave the Scotland job tomorrow for the West Ham job.
Aye, but I don't. What's that?
So why would he go for West Ham to Scotland?
No, because I mean the stage he's at in his career. He's almost 60 now.
But that's what I was
I
going to
still think
say.
he's been at West Ham for
It's like a
4 or
bucket,
5
it's
years.
like a bucket list one, innit? I can get where you're coming
I don't
from.
get.
I can get where
He's
you're
not going to
coming
get a club. I think that are going to be bigger than that. I don't think.
If
Anymore.
Ollie gets sacked, he might end up back at United.
I think that has tarred him so much that he won't
Yeah,
get a
He
big job.
should have been, I don't know. He's doing a brilliant job with West Ham, but see when you look at West
Listen.
Ham's budget, they're like top 6, 7 budget in the league as well. So
Listen, it's all very well and good talking about it just now, but by the end of the season, for all we know, West Ham could be Europa League winners.
they're flying.
They could be Europa League winners, and that changes the conversation altogether.
People take
Aye.
the results,
Yeah, that's a good point.
he's been getting as well for granted, because there was a time West Ham would be buzzing, getting 7th or whatever in the league. They'd go and play in qualifiers and they'd get put out in the qualifiers when they make the groups. Do you know what I mean? There was a time when Spurs and all that would play in the groups and they would get battered. So results he's been getting in Europe have been huge.
It's quite strange. So we've heard a lot of talk about how the top 6 in England, or the traditional top 6, are now cut away from everything else in that league. I don't necessarily believe that. I think West Ham have proven they could break in there. Leicester have obviously done it. Newcastle, I think, eventually will break into the top 6 in the next few years. You know, there is a pathway for them kind of teams to do
Newcastle-
that.
Money's just a
Villa
joke.
as well could do it. They've got the kind of foundations there to do it.
Big
money they've spent.
Big
I know.
shout. If Newcastle either join the traditional Big 7 or Tottenham will drop out the Big 6 and be replaced by Newcastle, I think, in the next few years.
But this whole thing
happen.
about Tottenham being in the Big 6 is just down to what Pochettino did,
Yeah,
though.
I
There's
know,
nothing else
exactly.
really foundation
Yeah.
and building on.
Christ, you see what the mess
Redknapp
of them
did alright in getting them up a wee bit as well.
I mean, I'd actually consider Leicester to be ahead of Tottenham, just if I was honest. But
But anyway,
I don't think they're ahead of them in the table, don't they? To be
no,
fair?
but see, I just when I
But
think, I don't know.
I'd rather be at Leicester than Tottenham.
Yeah, maybe.
I would much
Depends
rather be at
if they
Leicester
go and
than
get
Tottenham.
Conte as manager, you know.
Which sounds like it's going to happen.
could
but
change.
It's mad though, because
I just done that in an English
18th month
podcast.
contract.
he
isn't it?
knocked him back in the summer.
I know.
It was changed.
He was at Inter though, wasn't he? At that point,
Social
No, I
safe.
think he was gone.
was he?
He left because he left when they sold Lukaku, and I was like, fuck this, I'm off. See you later. Anyway, let's get back to the Scottish game. And very quickly, before we get to the Twitter questions, a couple of things in the old rumour mill and such, and we all like to talk about, and the gossips and such. Killian Sheridan out for the season. Season's over after rupturing his Achilles at the weekend, so rest in peace. What else is there? There's not too much. What are you What are you putting your head in their hands for?
Just talking nonsense, mate.
What? It's just.
I was literally thinking to myself as well when we were talking about that, he could be the man going forward in a 4-5-1 formation that could maybe get
somebody,
results.
somebody
in
that can run.
Aberdeen.
Don't they?
Who's going to put him in a who's going to go? I don't know.
Lewis Ferguson has told Andy Halliday there's no hard feelings after the challenge.
Obviously,
Of course there's not.
people were talking about this. People were talking about this. How's his
Shocker
dad?
of the year,
How's
that.
his dad going to hang with you?
Dearie
and all that?
me.
Jeez, it's football. Shit happens, man.
There's
Get on,
not
mate.
there's not much outside that, to be fair. Hearts
Right.
fans calling for investigation and aye
Right, can I have a prediction off you?
for the fucking tannoy.
Yeah, there's been a statement. Right, can I have a prediction off you?
Who's done that?
Adam Kennedy. What are you saying?
Who will be the next Dunfermline manager?
See, obviously John Robertson, the rumours of him getting an interview and that, but why would he now get back into management after going up the stairs? Maybe he feels ready.
Because he went up, he didn't like. It's not like he wanted to go up the stairs. He kind of.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
He had a few issues at the start of the year. He had to take a step back.
Yeah, he
and
had to.
he's got a contract at Inverness, so they kind of kept him. I mean, like his contract was still running. So
Right, well, I thought it was a lot different situation than that. So I would probably lean towards him because he's the only guy that the rumour mill was saying had an interview.
Petrie.
yeah, Petrie would make sense, but he's
But Big Rod?
Big Stuart. He's like manager of a bank though, so I mean, you know, he's got.
He's the manager of a bank.
Yeah, I think he
TSB.
works in a bank.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah,
bank manager.
TSB, mate.
So he's like
Santander.
he's got a really well paid job outside of football. But if there was a club he would leave part time football for, it would be Dunfermline, his connection to the club. So yeah, those two look like the favourites. I just hope it's Robbo.
I think Rob will
Make me so happy.
I'm going to go for Petrie.
Galvanise the whole.
banker.
Petrie would do exactly the same thing in terms of galvanising the club because the fans absolutely adore him.
Yep.
He's a young manager. He's done a phenomenal job at Montrose. He took them from escaping relegation League 2 to the League 1 playoffs, and I still think this year they'll finish in the playoffs, and they might end up even going up. So I mean, he's done a phenomenal job there. But I just John Robertson, mate, that's all I want.
Right. Okay. So does that mean it's time for?
Are you replying to a tweet?
Almost.
Buick at the back.
Remember in the summer when
Are you replying to a tweet right now?
Oh, I'm pointing my pal.
Remember the summer when I touted John Kennedy for the Dunfermline job, and a
Oh,
few,
you're
people,
not touting him again, are you?
people laughed at it
Aye.
and said, "No, why would you want him, mate? No fucking chance we'd get him now."
Oh no.
Do you know what I mean?
No chance,
Just
no.
like, and plus, and I said it at the time, he will get a much when he eventually goes into manager, he'll get a bigger job in Dunfermline, I think.
I thought he could have got the Aberdeen job for fuck's sake.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
People thought it was ridiculous of me touting for him in the summer, but hey,
Has he got his pro licence, Kennedy?
Aye, will do. I think. Aye, he does. Definitely does.
he's been coaching for years. I think he retired very early.
He retired for his
28, 29 he retired, did he not?
29.
You need to fucking
not
be
29?
coaching. You need to be
I've
coaching.
just,
for
I've never
fucking-
know. I'm just like because you're saying 20. I've never heard anybody like refer to it as 29.
You need to be coaching for I think 5 years.
Like,
or something like that.
obviously you mean like 2009,
Get your
right?
pro
But I've never heard.
No,
that.
I mean,
Oh, his age.
It doesn't
I thought
necessarily.
you meant like 2009.
It doesn't necessarily matter anyway if he's got a pro licence
No.
because Lennon get the job at Celtic without a pro licence.
oh, and here's another thing. See the fucking idiot saying, "I take Derek McInnes, Dunfermline." What sort of planet are you living on?
McInnes is going to rock up to
Rock
East
up East
End
End
Park.
Park. And it's the way people are saying, "I'd take him."
I take
It's like,
him.
I think it was going, nah, it's an option.
I think it was there, aye.
Jesus Christ. Derek McInnes is probably on more at Aberdeen than our entire playing squad's on.
Do you know Courtney Mill?
Jesus Christ.
Was he,
His
yeah?
wages were disgusting at Aberdeen.
Aye. Fucking hell. Just shows you work hard and you can do anything.
He played hard and all the players were anyway. I'm pretty sure that was
Oh, he would have been.
Aye. Right, okay. 2 other questions, David.
Oh, I'll get
Let-
him.
get
There's
him
a
out.
few decent ones today.
Get him
actually.
out. Get him out.
Get him out, Sean. Is either me or him? I'm so happy I don't have to say that ever again.
We'll see in a couple of months.
There's loads of questions this morning.
Is there?
Yeah, and I
Maybe
haven't
just
put
do it
tweet
in the
up.
day from now on.
Right, Ian Hamilton asks, with Jack and Kent on the way back soon, is it a case of the only ones who can beat Rangers are themselves with the depth of their squad? Keep up with the good work with the podcast says. That's a very, very...
I do think that's a big difference between Rangers and Celtic at the moment in squad depth, to be
So
fair.
do you think if Rangers will beat themselves if they don't win the league this year?
I don't think it's a case of beat themselves because if a team wins the league, do you know what I mean? They deserve to win it, kind of thing. But when you do look
don't
at the
be-
squad
don't
depth
be
for Rangers
disrespectful.
there, if they're all hitting the heights and being rotated and all that sort of stuff, then they should still be the favourites to win the league, in my opinion.
Okay. Saucy Glenn asks, how does Ryan feel about Celtic's next 2 away trips? And yeah,
What are they?
They are.
Ferencváros.
Well, is he including that?
I
take
don't
it?
know,
And
I'm
then
assuming so.
Dundee, Dens Park at the weekend, and then Ferencváros.
I think he says, is Saturday just a blip or are there concerns for Thursday and the weekend?
I think that we should be fine. I don't want to come out and once again.
I think they'll be fine, I think.
I don't see. Like Thursday's Thursday.
Is a point not okay on Thursday?
Point would be alright. I guess it's Conference League at least. You'd think.
I think third place is kind of what's it like they're after anyway in the Europa. Second place has got to be a push.
I've been notoriously saying I do not want us to set our standards to Conference League, but at the end of the day, if the league is more important at the moment, and if as long as we win at the weekend, I'm fine.
But I mean, them dropping out of the Europe completely would be a disaster.
Yeah, it probably would be.
Yeah.
But then, look, listen, at the end of the day, that was a tough group we've been handed. You're looking at Ferencváros, who were in the Champions League dancing with big boys last season, very close to making it again this season. Then you've got Betis and Leverkusen. Leverkusen are fucking brilliant. It was always going to be hard this year.
At Matt RFC, do you reckon Sakala will kick on there and be a great player for Rangers?
I think great's a big push, but it definitely gives him a foundation to build on now. And I think there'll be points in the season where guys like Kemar Roof comes back in for a run of games and Sakala's out. But that's the luxury you've got when you've got that squad depth Rangers have got. Because I think different times in the season calls for different things as well. So
we've talked a lot about how is it going to be Roof or Morelos. Now there's genuinely a third person you can say.
But the thing about Sakala as well, Morelos plays through the middle in the three, and there's been plenty of players that have been given that opportunity throughout the season, like Yanis Hadji as well, who's been okay, but the way that he stepped up at the weekend was big, scoring a hat-trick, so he's took his opportunity. So Daniel
Stewart asked a number of questions about Dunfermline, and we've kind of covered them all, but did he say have Dunfermline waited too long to sack Peter Grant? Yeah, they should have gone after Queen of the South. If I should have gone after Air, to be honest.
Queen of the South. Lizzie coming up the road to...
Huh?
What
are you on about?
I thought he says they should have went after Queen of the South.
Yeah, like...
He should have went after...
Yeah, like...
Alright, I thought you muddled your word up and says they should have targeted Queen of the South as new manager.
No, like, what? No, he should have went after the Queen of the South game.
Oh well, you should have just rolled with it. It was a good...
It wasn't shite, mate.
How was it?
It was shite. Just geese peace. Yeah, what else have we got here? If you had to pick one Scottish Premiership player to watch your motor during a match, who would it be and why?
To watch my motor?
No, to watch.
Watch it.
To watch it. Just make sure it's just like after that.
To watch.
I thought you were wanting somebody to rock up in a bikini there washing my motor.
But it's not going to be Wee McGowan face Dundee. He's not watching it.
Neither's Dougie Emery.
To watch him.
He's not a player anymore.
Gogic.
Well, so you've gone with that. Okay.
I get.
Nice. So you've gone with a hard man kind of. He's gonna. Okay. I was thinking more of like the nice guy that's gonna be like, I don't know, look after it.
Have you seen the characters that watch a motor at Parkhead?
I'd go with Big Mugabe.
Big Mugabe.
Big Beavis Mugabe.
Big Robert.
Who would I get to watch my motor?
You don't even have a fucking motor to watch.
That's a good point now.
Your scooter.
Who's watching your train ticket?
Fuck no, I don't know.
You don't have a shout?
We'll go with Gogic, why not?
Gogic is where?
That's a boring answer, man.
I know, I don't have time to think about that. I hate not having to prepare things like that. Reece Ferguson asks who's the best goalkeeper in the league.
Oh, best goalkeeper in the league?
That's Craig Gordon.
The best goalkeeper's Alan McGregor, mate, come on.
It's Joe Hart, isn't it? It's fucking Joe Hart. It's easily Joe Hart.
It's not easily Joe Hart at all.
Not easily. But
you were laughful and thought it was a disaster they'd even bring him in 2 months ago.
Yes.
So just behave
and that just shows how things can change.
Yeah.
So
He's made a few mistakes since then as well.
He's just saying this because he wants clipped.
It's fucking Joe Hart. The saves Joe Hart has made this season has saved Celtic from dropping so many points.
Right.
Which what Alan McGregor's been doing and Craig Gordon been doing for years.
Aye, well, they're good.
By that logic.
If we're going in current form, it's Joe Hart.
Zander
What was his
Clark,
biggest save? Joe Hart?
Joe Hart. Oh, I don't know. I've not wrote him off.
How many worldies? He's not made that many worldies.
He has. Yes, he has.
He's made a few.
You see every time you see a clip of Joe Hart save and it's like a really standard save because Celtic goalies are so used to their goalies being pish. You think that's now like world class?
Yeah, excuse me. Used to my goalies being pish. What, one season of goalies being pish?
Well,
one season.
You all maintain that Gordon's rubbish.
No, it all didn't because I love Gordon and I loved him at Celtic and I praised him.
I think it's between Alan McGregor and Craig Gordon.
And on current form, Zander Clark.
On current form, Joe Hart.
On current form, Craig Gordon.
Yes, I would say so.
For me.
I would say altogether it's probably, if you're going off everything they've done over their whole careers, it's Alan McGregor. Right now I'd be taking Joe Hart.
Well, hold on.
There's maybe an argument for Joe Hart
then, surely.
No, because
Premier League titles.
Yeah, I know, but like he had
Euros.
Then he had 5 years of doing fuck all.
No.
Aye.
Alan McGregor's not had 5 years of doing fuck all, has he?
Nah.
Fucking listen to me, I'm backing up Alan McGregor now.
Well, I'm going to caveat this into.
I've done a full circle here.
Certain
Oh, Joe
Right,
Hart.
so let's go to the next question, because this is where I'm going to caveat what I was saying with Craig Gordon. Luke asks, player of the season in the Premiership so far.
Kyogo Furuhashi.
I would say it's Craig Gordon.
Kyogo Furuhashi.
Oh my god, that is
I
hard.
don't think he's been Celtic's best player. I'd say Callum McGregor's been Celtic's best player.
I'd say Kyogo Furuhashi.
How many? He's not. Oh well. I think it's Craig Gordon.
For
to
a
be honest.
while, Martin Boyle was the best player in the country, but he's fell off a cliff.
Hasn't he?
Benny's had some start to the season. Craig Gordon's been brilliant.
Gordon, McGregor, or Rebo for me.
Aribo's been Rangers' best player, so he's got to be up there as well. Kyogo's been brilliant.
But Gordon's definitely up there, aye. Gordon's
Every week, just
Gordon's
save after
probably
save.
aye. Gordon probably I'd go with.
Yeah, it's
Just for that consistency, it's been
Rebo
brilliant.
or McGregor.
But then if I'm putting Gordon up there, I've obviously got to say Joe Hart's been the best keeper as
Exactly,
well.
this is what I'm saying.
I've got to say, you know, it's
You're just
yeah.
saying that, mate.
No, Joe Hart has been. We were talking about it in the podcast. the other day. I
Has
think
he had a
he's been-
better season so far than Craig Gordon has?
I think he's been Celtic's signing of the season.
Has he had a better season so far than Craig Gordon has? No, he's not.
Yeah,
You're
who's
ridiculous if you
Who's
think he has.
conceded less goals?
Oh, come on.
Who's conceded less goals? Who's conceded less goals?
Right, so it's just fucking.
And you're making out that Joe Hart hasn't made. he's
No,
made
but you can't say on
numerous
current
big
form
saves.
Joe Hart's the best keeper in the country, and then
How can I not? When he's conceded the
you
least
think-
goals in the league.
Do you think he's had a better season so far than Craig Gordon has?
Have
Yes.
you seen the
You are
performances
off your
Craig Gordon's
head.
been putting in, mate?
But I go for the
Every
Even at
single
the
week.
weekend, man.
I like Joe.
You've lost
It's,
it.
you know, it's been a long time since I've came out and I've been able to fucking rally behind a Celtic. When I've been sticking up for other teams' players for far too long.
For
Fuck them.
one season in your entire adult life. Right, okay.
No,
yeah.
I think if I'm being honest, I think Gordon's probably.
What a waste of 3 minutes.
Well, waste of life.
Right, okay. Where do we go here? Who do you think will finish top scorer in the league this year?
Kyogo Furuhashi.
Ooh, what's the standings?
Let's get up the top scorer chart just now, just to get it up. And
If you go after the way it's going, Tony Watt's going to be in there.
It's going to be tough this year, actually.
I think Motherwell are going to go through a rough patch soon.
But you just think a
I
Rangers
don't
or a
think they're
Celtic player
already
can
in
go,
there,
so-
can go in a big run.
There's
don't you?
your list in the league right now. Martin Boyle top by 2.
Boyce is a shout.
So if you're looking at the joint top 5, this is more than 5 players, but the joint top 5 right now is Kyogo Furuhashi, Kemar Roof, Eamon Brophy, Christian Ramirez, Liam Boyce, Tony Watt, and Martin Boyle.
They're all joint.
No, they're like.
He started for the bottom.
Right,
Started for the
so Hart's better than Gordon because Gordon's conceded more goals, but Martin Boyle's not better than Furuhashi because he scored more goals.
If that's your opinion, mate, you're entitled to your opinion, mate, and you're wrong.
I don't know. I think Furuhashi might struggle from the fact that there will be games again like the weekend where he'll not play.
Furuhashi, just to clarify, has got the second highest goals per night.
Martin Boyle will not.
Kemar Roof.
Martin Boyle will not.
Roof
finish
was my
top.
shout for the season, so
I don't think a
stick with
Rangers
him.
player will finish top goal scorer because they chop and change their strikers too much for me. Liam Boyce will be my shout, I think. Liam
I'm
Boyce.
just going to stick with my shout then for the start of the season. Go Roof.
I'll go with Furuhashi.
When he plays, he scores, man.
I just think Liam Boyce is going to play. I don't know. It's going to be it'll be a strange season. Who was top scorer last year? Was it Nisbet?
No, it was
Edward, wasn't it?
Edward.
Aye.
So
Nisbet was behind him.
so it's going to be interesting.
And
Nizzy's
then
not even close now. What else have we got
miss
now? Beans asked, if you had to describe Scottish football as a main dish, what would it be?
Steak
Like a main
and
dish.
chips.
How's the steak cooked?
Fucking
Oh my god.
Oh.
Medium rare.
Yeah! That's what you answer.
blood dripping right out it, man.
No,
But medium rare, no, that's
Just
the
the
No,
best.
no.
The
I make it
creme
rare,
de
that's
la
the best,
creme.
but it's just
Right, you well done.
no. I have my steak medium rare as well.
No, superb.
But I would say if I was to describe it as a dish, it would be a fucking pizza crunch with the greasiest chips in the world.
Aye, I thought it would be what's that dish your mum always makes for you? One you always go on about?
Hunter's chicken.
No, that's the other one. Oh, when your mum makes gnocchi.
Gnocchi.
you always got about that.
gnocchi. Who ordered the gnocchi?
I don't know. Again, I don't know like these
Pizza
questions,
crunch,
but I like hearing the
chips,
answers.
a lot of tomato sauce, and a lot of fucking salt.
A lot of salt.
I love tomato sauce.
A lot of fucking salt.
Right, that might be the last of the questions. I
That's
love
it,
looking
then.
through these when I've not looked at them before, and you're about to start reading
Catch
one,
you off guard.
and you're like, oh shit, I can't read that.
I just want to provide an update on the
Quiz?
No, I've got a quiz, yeah, we'll get to the quiz in a moment. But I just want to provide an update on the clip of me that is currently circulating the social medias. Some laugh. It's doubled in its likes since we started the podcast. It's gathering traction.
Sorry, I missed the start of that because people are going to in the comments. I've been checking my phone constantly, but I'm constantly refreshing Twitter today just in case I missed
I was just
something.
saying how the video that is now circulating is doubled in its traction. It's going well.
I've not even seen it yet.
You'll hate it.
Yeah, I don't want to see it.
But look, this is the.
Try to make a joke when you
Oh, come here! It's like, I'm not
How many
taking it back.
times have I called Steve Clark a
Terrorist.
terrorist on
Mate,
the podcast?
it's a fucking. It's somebody made a very good point. Shout out to Pingu, the Aberdeen supporter. Love the guy. He put out a mad tweet and he was like, "It's like Daz live on a completely different planet from us. Like it's unbelievable."
Yeah, well, listen, I get it, but yeah, you're right. Yeah,
They are fucking
It is
terrorists.
mental. But I'm
literal.
I'm gonna,
Yes.
but I'm gonna balance this out by having a member of TSF praise Livy because
Oh, no,
not
like,
just
listen,
Livy.
I praise them.
but the Livy's media team are superb.
Do you know what's really
They've
annoying?
stepped it up, that's what
Do you
I'm
know what's
saying.
really annoying me though about like the replies to that tweet? So the two main replies are, you can guess what one of the main replies is. I'm not going to get political on the show. A Celtic fan talking about that. You know what one of the main replies is,
Yeah.
right? You can take a guess. Don't need to bring it up, but
Right,
you can
go.
guess.
No, just move on. We're not talking about it.
No, I'm saying move on to the
And then
next
the
one.
second one,
You keep going on about it.
the one that's annoying me the fucking most is like, oh, Moonhowler blaming doesn't even admit his team's shite. And I'm like, watch the fucking video instead of a 10-second clip, man. In the video, numerous times I say fair play to Livy, we weren't good enough. So many times, but no, it's like you get judged off clips, don't you? So
But
that's
I
it.
did want to shout out Livy because I think they're so brilliant in what they do. Callum Brown, who's a shout out to Callum.
Oh,
Callum's
Callum's
super.
brilliant,
But I did Callum Firewater one night.
Yeah, same.
Good guy.
He messaged me at the weekend actually.
Yeah, they've just got loads of good guys there, and they seem like a really good like team off the field as well. So, and they're just living the dream, Livy, just now because they're little Livy and they're punching above their weight and they're doing fantastic. And fair play to them. You can imagine how great it must be to work for that club just now.
And Callum, tell all your pals at Livy that I don't mean they're actually terrorists. Just make that clear in case. I think they'll have an imagination. They know what I meant. But
Are they full time, didn't they? Do you know?
Yes, they will be.
Yes.
But
But
I don't think Callum works there full time. But they've got like Derek White. I think is a club secretary. I think is it Dave Black? I think is the other guy that works there. He's like the head of communications or something like that. They've got just a number of good guys. They're all active on social media as well, which I think makes a world of difference when you've got people that work for your club that engage with fans and are active on social media.
Yeah.
I think that's brilliant because it just increases communication between club and supporters and makes that connection better.
see, look at us praising little Livy. There you go. It's not always.
You have to throw in the little.
Then you
Livy,
go
what I did.
condescending. Then.
I know. Nah, I'm joking. But I love they embrace that as well. Little Livy punch above their weight. Fair play them.
Right, okay, it's time.
Shut myself.
I cannot believe it.
Chris Tarrant's just fucking bombed into the room.
Clarkson does it now, isn't it?
Ah, that's right, it is Clarkson.
Shambles.
When I let him watch my mum.
See, he won some sort of award for Clarkson's
Player of
fan.
the year was it?
Yeah, that's bad. Right, let's move on to the end of the show quiz, the TSF quiz, everybody's favourite part of the show, coming to a pub near you soon. So last time on the show, I took part against Buick. I was absolutely embarrassed.
Where was this go?
I got nothing right.
Did you?
No, zero
His
right.
pants pulled down.
My
Everyone.
pants pulled down. Mate, if I had his set, I'd have got 4 or 5, but that's not how it works. I
That's not how it
suppose.
works.
Again, if I had your set, I also would have won. So
Shut up, right. So, David, since that you won the last one,
I'll go first.
You're going first this
I
week.
never go first. I'll go
I was
first.
just
this
about
week.
to say, aye.
He sent me up first the last time.
I always do that, and it started to backfire me a wee bit.
Right, okay. Are you ready?
I'm alright till the maths questions go out. I'm ready.
Hopefully there's not a mask.
He put a fucking timer on me last week.
Also,
Aye,
there's
he
been a
loves
lot
that.
of there's been a
Gets
lot of
competitive, doesn't he?
there's been a lot of Dunfermline questions recently going to the other person. I don't know if that happens quite a lot.
Right, are you ready then?
Yeah.
Okay. Question number 1 for David Buick. Which Scotland international was given a red card at the weekend?
Scotland National was given a red card at the weekend. Great question. Why have I gone blank? Oh, Stephen O'Donnell.
He's no fuck this,
Trying
is
to
he?
build the suspense.
Right, David takes a lead. Question 1 for you, Dev. Which fixture at the weekend was postponed just hours before kick-off?
Ross County versus Hibs.
Correct. 1-1. Good start for both of you. Question 2, David, are you ready? There have been 11 Scotland managers this century. Can you name 8 of them?
This century.
Yes.
Okay. Steve Clark,
Correct.
Alex McLeish,
Correct.
Walter Smith,
Correct.
George Burley,
Correct.
Bertie Vogts,
Yes.
Craig Levine,
Yes.
Craig Brown,
Yes.
and
Oh no.
It's been 11 this
Oh,
century.
no.
You sure there's been 11
Now,
this century?
I'm actually going to pull up Matthew here. He's put in managers who weren't proper interims.
Okay,
and such.
Malky Mackay.
Malky Mackay, correct.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So
Gordon Strachan was
Because
one.
Gordon Strachan's what I missed.
aye, that's right. You missed Strachan, the big one. So the list that you could have went through there was Craig Brown, Betty Votes, Tommy Burns, Walter Smith, Alan McLeish, Burley, Levine, Billy Stark,
Yeah.
Strachan, Malky Mackay, and Stevie Clark. So well done, Dave.
I'm amazed I missed Strachan. Mental.
Yep, 2-1. Right, which two Rangers men collided at the weekend, resulting in one of them being shown a red card?
Fuck off, Matthew.
Is that a question?
That's the question, aye.
Andy boy.
Andy boy, but who was the other one involved?
Lewis.
Lewis.
Wee Lewis.
Right, there you go. That's Matthew for you. Right, question 3, David. 100% by the way, right now.
I think he'd go to Celtic, by the way.
Really, Ferguson?
I think he would as well.
Same as
aye.
a big Ranger. I think he'd go to Celtic.
Right, question 3. Kyogo was slapped in the back of the head by which Livingston?
Io Obalai.
Yes, correct.
Matthew's obviously been aware of how shit we've been recently and just toned them down a wee bit. I like that.
Right, question
It's like
3.
a foundation quiz, isn't it?
Right, so this is one that I think that you'll struggle to get. Celtic fans protested against which former police officer being appointed to their club on Saturday with a silent protest and multiple banners?
That's a tough question.
That is a tough
What,
question.
former police officer?
Yes.
You've obviously just not paid attention to the story, so you're not going to get it.
PC Plod.
Nah, you're not going to get it. If I hadn't heard the story, I wouldn't have a clue.
Fuck knows. Paul Ferris.
Bernard. Is
He
it,
follows
Paul
his
Ferris.
Twitter account.
Paul Ferris, police
Aye.
officer.
Aye.
Jesus.
is it not Bernard Higgins? Is that his name?
Yes, Bernard Higgins, correct. And by the way,
Fuck off with
didn't even get the chance to mention it on either my shows or this podcast, but fair play to Green Brigade for a very, very, very effective banner and the protest.
Who is he and what was he put? I
He
don't
was
get it.
One of the main
one of the head
guys
guys for
behind
the bill. Remember the bill?
Offensive Behaviour
Against-
Football Act.
Alright.
He hates football fans. So he's been quoted numerous times talking about his disdain for football
And
supporters.
what's his role?
So
Celtic
Celtic
are
were
gonna
going to appoint him. Well, we don't know what's happening yet, but Celtic were going to appoint him as head of security at Celtic.
Right. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yep,
I know,
very,
shambles.
very, very poor, very poor. Right, so David,
but
is
if the Green Brigade weren't silent for 30 minutes, should I win 5-0? What are you on about?
fucking
In a shambles.
right, and shout out, I just said the Green Brigade, the other supporters groups who took part in that was not just the Green Brigade, there was many.
Were you,
The boys.
were you silent? Was Disco silent for the
The
first half?
boys.
I was silent, mate.
Was Disco?
Disco, well, he tries. he tries, doesn't he? What are you saying? The boys?
The boys.
The boys, yes, the boys, the North
boys
Cove,
and Girls.
the girls. Right, David, to take a 2-point lead here. Adidas currently manufactures Scotland's national team kits. Name the previous manufacturer.
Diodora.
Yes.
I'd have said Diodora.
I thought it was Diodora.
Diodora. I don't know actually. But
I
they,
don't
made
know.
some, they made some really nice Scotland
I
kits.
need this in.
You need this. You need this, Div.
That Polish question was fucking naughty, wasn't
Scotland travelled to Moldova this month with a win securing a World Cup playoff place. But how many points did we bring home the last time we travelled there in 2004? So the last time we went to Moldova, how many points did we bring back?
it? Well, the obvious answer would be fucking 3, wouldn't
I know the answer.
it? 2004.
Yes.
Surely you can't get beat off Moldova. Or draw. 3.
I think it was 1, wasn't it?
Correct answer's 1.
Yep.
So David is
Betty
gonna be
Votes
the winner.
days.
Yep, so a 1-1 draw with Craig Gordon getting his 5th cap at the time. David Marshall was on the bench. There you go. Unlucky Div, mate. He still just went down the middle.
No.
He still went down the middle.
It's
When in
obvious
doubt,
answer.
go down the middle. Right. I know, because he wouldn't bring it up if we
How
won.
the fuck have I not heard they drawn with Moldova? The only one I heard they was
Faroes with
Faroes?
2 each.
Faroes and Moldova.
Right, Davy boy.
Wow.
To get a quite convincing win, by the
I've
way.
got every single
4 out of
question
4
right.
so
I've got all
far.
his
Can
right
he
as
get
well.
5 out of 5? You're doing well this week.
Shite questions.
So here we go. Name the 5 teams.
The Moldova one was a good one, but go.
Name the 5 teams, and you if you get one wrong, you're done. You need to get them.
He needs to get about 17 answers on all his questions.
Name the 5 teams with the most Scottish Cup trophies.
Celtic Rangers.
Yes,
Aberdeen.
correct.
Queen's Park.
Yes,
And
It's got to be in it.
Hearts.
correct. 5 out of 5. So Celtic lead it with 40. Rangers on 33. Queen's Park on 10.
Give me my last question.
See what happens when our
Hearts
manager gets sacked. Everything just
Aberdeen
lift them,
on
just like
7. So there you go. Right, Dev, to restore a little bit of pride in yourself, to make it a 5-3. Name 3 of the 5 players that have left Edinburgh clubs to join an English club for over £2 million.
wow, great question.
Really good question.
3 of the 5.
3 of the 5 who have left Edinburgh clubs to England for
Fletcher.
£2 million. Yes, Stephen Fletcher's
Stephen
one.
Fletcher. Craig Gordon.
Craig Gordon, correct.
And
There's one staring you right in the face.
Ryan Fitzsimons. Final answer.
John McGinn.
Big John.
John
Big
McGinn.
Winda
Right,
John.
so there's 2 others. Let me think about this. Let's see if we can get these together as a team now, since you got that
Go
right. 2 others. There'll be somebody who went to like a championship team. I'm trying to think. Yeah, for over £2 million.
For over £2 million.
You'd imagine there's somebody doing that like the 2.5
Give us a
million
time
mark.
frame. Is there anyone that's been recent?
I'd need to check what year they both went. Honestly, I have no clue. I
So
don't. I
it's
know.
quite a
Who,
long time ago.
I know who they both are, but I don't know what years it would have been that they left.
We're talking quite a long time ago.
Right.
then,
So one of them is he better be looking at my laptop. He's looking at the laptop. Just like if he's looking, then you can just.
2 million. I mean, Gordon, Fletcher, and
I'll
McGinn
not
were
say the one I seen
standouts.
then.
Give me a clue in the one you've seen.
Gumshield.
Christoph Berra
Christoph Berra, correct. He left for
to Wolves.
to Wales back in 2009. Then the other one you might
Is
struggle.
it
with.
Hybe, the other one?
It is.
Who's he play for? Hearts, Hibs.
Sorry, no, he played for Hearts. Sorry.
And what year?
Played for Hearts in 2008. He left.
Oh yeah, fucker.
He left in 2008. Fucking
Oh,
Hibs,
great
but-
question. Left Hearts 2008 to
Left
go down to
Hearts in
England for over
2008.
£2
Do you want to know the
million
club he
quid.
went to?
Yeah.
He went to West Bromwich Albion.
What? I don't have a clue. What nationality is he?
Oh Christ, he is Czech
From
from Prague in the Czechoslovakia.
Schedule? No.
No,
Schedule is he even from the Czech
I
Republic?
don't know.
I don't know. Tell me. I'm going to kick myself though.
Roman Bednar.
Oh, he's a decent player, him man.
Roman Bednar. There you go. That's your whack there. That's your.
That's a
5.
good question. that
So
was.
there you go. David wins this week. Well done, son. There's your Chris Tarrant song. Would you like to hear what the tiebreaker would have been?
Aye, for a bit.
For a bit of fun as we get getting right into these podcasts now, aren't we?
I see, you know how you've turned the volume down that, but the button's still on. They can still hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've noticed that.
Yeah, so just remind you to turn it off.
Shut up.
Okay. Tiebreaker question.
Okay, the tiebreaker question would have been how many goals have Scotland scored since that night in Serbia?
Right. Okay.
Just throw out a number.
No, hold on. Give me a minute or two.
He's choking to get everything right here. The only thing he's missed is Roman Bednar.
I would say 12.
12, more than that.
Hold on.
What's it?
Hold on. And then
He's gone through every single result.
Aye. I just went
Every
through a few,
single
I could be
result.
I'm going to say 15.
15. Well, I can tell you, David Buick, that
I
the
had
correct
14 in my head, but I went
answer
15.
would have been 17.
Aye.
17
I probably
goals
missed one of the games in the
in
Nations League.
15 games.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's it. That's the quiz. That's everything done. Oh, it was
Up
a
the road.
cracker that. My back is killing me.
Basically,
Back is
anyone
killing me.
anyone's ever been in a stag do to Germany just now is getting linked with the Melbourne job. It's horrendous. Genuinely, anyone who's got any sort of German link is getting linked. You know who was in the bookies
I'm
odds
getting
yesterday?
linked, Joe.
Who was in it 8-1 yesterday? Ian Holloway.
You know me, yeah.
Watch a laugh that would
I'd
be.
say that.
When he said he'd like to go to Scottish football, yeah, that'd be so funny,
That would
wouldn't
be
it?
some laugh. Eh?
I think I would take that though.
Well, you would.
Oh,
aye.
of course you would.
For the experience.
He's like, the thing is, people forget he's obviously a character. We've all looked at him as a laugh, but he's a decent
It's
man.
the
some big
Yogi
jokes.
thing. Yeah, because Yogi's got an accent and likes to laugh, people think he's a rubbish manager.
Yeah.
He's done fantastic at every club, I think, bar one.
Well,
Yeah,
his
maybe
last
not
job was-
fantastic at Hibs, but he did
he's-
brilliant, fantastic at Ross County.
Holloway's last job would have been Grimsby.
Grimsby, yeah. So
Aye.
I mean, Dunfermline's a bigger job than Grimsby,
Aye.
I would say.
Yep. But Blackpool Premier League, you know,
Yeah,
everything is just. I feel it's a positive appointment. That.
it's not going to happen though.
No, it's not. No, let's
Come on, Robbo, just sign the papers, son.
Andy Robertson up the road.
Yeah.
Right, and that's us. That'll do us for today. Thank you very much for joining me, lads. David and Div.
Cheers, mate.
Gonna go and have a laugh now.
I'd a piss.
See you later.
Cheerio.